Welcome to episode 10 of the Video Games Podcast, a podcast where we discuss video-related games and games-related news. The first episode in 2018. My name is Jimmy Gang, and I'm joined by Paul McBride.
Hello, everyone.
Mike Gibson.
Hiya.
And forever special guest, Seth Belgar.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Wait, so this is the first episode of 2018? Does GottiCast not count?
I mean, it's the first one recorded in 2018.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, yeah.
Don't let them see behind the curtain, Michael.
I mean...
Curtain Michael's my
anyone
friend.
who's continued to listen to our podcast knows that last few were late. So,
like I say, Seth knows when we recorded it.
Seth is here, so he knows when we're recorded. He's our only listener, so
that's true.
Listen, I listen to all of them, and I
mean, that's what we were saying.
I'm a very loyal customer of this show.
Wait, customer, how much do you pay?
I don't know. I'm sure somewhere on the internet I'm getting charged to listen to it.
Oh God, I wish. I mean, you pay your ISP, don't you?
There you go.
Oh, I mean, yeah. You pay your phone. I'm sure you listen on your phone.
I do, and my cell phone bill is stupid because I've got AT&T.
All cell phone bills are stupid. It's not just AT&T. You just get
for me and Amber. It's
AT&T.
like $250 a month
for two phones.
For two phones.
I mean, I pay $115.
It's just stupid.
So I'm at $96, I think.
I pay $100 for Jen and I.
Who are you with, Sprint?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile's awesome, but we can't do that here. They don't offer it in Louisiana hardly.
Yeah, I have T-Mobile, but I'm in the
shithole.
Jump program, and I have the insurance shit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm on America's widest network.
All you have is what?
Phones are totally paid off. All I pay is $100 flat, like the service
because you bought the
charge
phones.
for service. Yeah,
right.
We completely own the phones, so we don't pay that monthly.
Right, that's why it's so cheap. Yeah, the actual plans for T-Mobile are cheap. It's the phones that are kind of expensive.
Jen's parents.
What?
Jen's parents just bought iPhone 10s the day before Verizon announced they were going to match. The day before Verizon announced they were going to match T-Mobile's offer of buy one get one half off.
I hadn't heard about that. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, they bought two of them.
Ooh. Aren't those phones $1,000?
The exact specifications of the offer. Yeah, I think it's like $1,200 actually.
$1,200? Oh, I thought it was. I think
it cost them. I think it ended up costing them $600. Yeah.
Wow.
I would complain and be like, "Hey, this deal just started."
Be like, "Hey."
I mean, I would complain too because you had to buy an iPhone.
Exactly.
Yeah, a very expensive one.
Anyway.
At any rate.
We'll finish the phone cast.
I say, come back from the phone cast later this month.
Let's get into the game cast.
Oh yeah.
Game cast.
Let's get into what everybody came here for. Who's listening?
Yeah,
hey, Seth.
Hey, Seth.
Hey, Feature Seth.
So it's been a while since we had a regular episode because we had our goatee cast. And
goat?
It's about goats.
Goat.
So like what kind of goat products you can get, how fun it is to have a goat as a pet. The downsides of having a goat as a pet, I mean,
how much milk you can get out of a goat.
There's a whole lot.
A friend of mine just bought two goats and he named them Sketty and Meatballs.
Not where I thought that was going to go.
Same. Yeah.
Normally an animal story that ends in death.
It's true. But anyway, well, Seth, since you are the goat master, apparently, what have you been playing?
That makes sense.
Well, since our last normal podcast, last time I talked to all you people listening, I was just now picking up Breath of the Wild. And since then, I finished Breath of the Wild.
Game of the year 2017.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
Absolutely
not. Close. Did not even come close to deserving what people tried to say was about that game. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game. I would say 7 or 8 out of 10, but it wasn't 10 for 10 best game. Like, no, it wasn't even close. The actual story for the game was short, not very good. Every one of Ganon's forms was horrible. It just was not. And this is all stuff aside from the fact that I still absolutely freaking hate the fact that my weapons break, my master sword breaks, my shields break, my bows break. Everything fucking breaks in that game, and it's the stupidest thing they've ever added to The Legend of Zelda.
You know what doesn't break in that game, Seth?
Apparently, my resolve to finish the game was the only thing that didn't break.
I was gonna say Link's desire for justice.
That's the only thing.
Was it really justice he was after?
No. Well, I don't know.
He was after Best Girl, and he didn't even get Best Girl. He got second Best Girl.
I hope
the castle is not a girl, Seth.
No, we all know he should have ended up with the Zora girl.
Thank you.
He's a
what was that
boy.
girl's name back in the village that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that.
I
Oh my
forgot
god,
about that character.
I thought you were gonna say he should have ended up with that like little girl queen of the fucking desert
Why do you
people.
immediately assume things like that about me?
Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Really weird.
Weird.
But no, what was that other girl's name? Kokoriko.
Penny.
The girl that had the diary full of sex dreams of Link.
It's so good. And if you talk to her with your shirt off, she gets really upset.
Yeah.
Like really uncomfortable.
She gets real flustered.
Papaya.
But regardless of whether Link ended up with the right girl at the end of the game, just because the other one died doesn't mean anything. He should have killed himself and went to be in the spirit realm with the right girl.
That's right.
We all know what should have happened. But anyways.
Well, you ended up with the horse.
Your old games. What else have you been
So I beat that. Obviously, I think we've all still been dabbling at Destiny 2 here and there. A good friend of mine bought.
No, it's just been me and you, Seth, and then occasionally we make Mike play.
Yeah, I can always hear it in his voice. He's like, "I really hate you two right now."
I don't.
Right?
I don't hate playing Destiny 2. I just don't. I caught this carrot. I don't need the stick anymore. Like,
well,
I ran fast enough that I got
this week.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's
anyways, I don't either. But anyways, a good friend of ours, one of the previous founders of this podcast, will only known as Mr.
Are you talking about Jason?
Jason bought me South Park: The Fractured Butthole for Christmas.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh wow!
And it came with the Stick of Truth. So, yeah, I sat down and I played those in order. That was. Let's say something about those games.
I don't know where you're going with this, but okay.
They were very good, but there are maturity ratings on those games for a reason. It gets rough at times.
Rough?
Yeah.
I mean,
rough.
You do a podcast with me and Mike, and occasionally that guy Paul.
Dude, that doesn't even come close to compare of getting shrunk by gnomes and fighting on your parents' bed while they're having sex and having to dodge your dad's ball sack when it flies down to hit you off the bed.
It's so good.
Like,
it's so good.
It's a little crazy.
And fighting aborted Nazis, like oh god,
aborted Nazi fetus.
Oh, it's so good.
And the second game had a lot of really neat aspects too. It's definitely they are one of a kind is what I'll say about the South Park games, but they're definitely if you don't mind the South Parkiness, you should go play them. They are fun.
Should you play them if you just don't care either way with the South? Like, is the game itself good?
If you don't, yeah, the game is fine. Like, it's obviously better if you know the South Park characters and enjoy watching the show and everything. That makes it a whole nother level good. But it's a good strategy game. I mean, it's fun. I like it.
I mean, I can speak for the Stick of Truth. It's easy.
Right.
That's really the only knock I would say. It's way too easy. Like once you figure out that bleed damage just murders everything, it's just
Would you
yeah.
would you compare it to like the Mario RPG games in terms of those being really easy?
I would say it's
and-
easier than Mario All Stars or whatever that.
Ooh,
I can
wow.
say that the bleeding thing isn't really a thing in the second.
And the second one, yeah, I haven't played the
But-
second one yet, but
Yes, they're not real difficult games. The second one's much more customizable on your character. It makes it to where your gear is no longer affecting your stats. It's just there for cosmetic. Your weapons.
that sucks.
No, your weapons aren't even affected. Your gear is just cosmetic in the second game. You change your powers to adjust your abilities. So
Oh yeah, the whole superhero thing. I forgot.
yeah, so it was good though. I enjoyed both of them. It's little 30-hour games, I think.
Less than
Let's
that.
see. 24 and 18, so 20-hour game.
Yeah, I think I put 18 hours into the first one or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, they're good. They're fun. I suggest them to anybody who is mature enough to play them.
I would suggest them to people that aren't mature enough to play them.
Well, I'm trying to be a responsible adult. I have a kid.
He's a dad, man.
I ain't care.
One of us here has to be.
Nope.
Nope.
But
Maybe he
outside
goes
of
down
that,
to elementary school and distributes his podcast to kids.
and
Jimmy's
then
not
I went-
allowed within 100 yards of the elementary school, and we all know it.
No, I didn't used to work there for a long time or anything.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
That's why. We all know what happened. Why you used to work there.
Well, I used to work there.
You don't anymore.
Yeah, I didn't leave Korea because the living conditions were trash. It was because they didn't want me around the children, right?
Hey, you said it.
What else have you been playing, Seth?
a couple of my friends, namely people in this room,
Mm-hmm.
dragged me into a game called Borderlands 2.
Oh shit! I forgot we started
And-
playing that for a minute.
You see, I can
Yeah.
understand why you forgot. We played it, I think, twice.
Yeah.
So I played that a little bit. It's less fun Destiny, is what I would call it. But that's just me.
We did
I'm
not
a big
get very far
shooter
into that
person.
game.
I know. I didn't play it enough to really.
When you
give it a
start
good
getting the
review,
really
but-
crazy guns and doing the vehicle stuff and
It
the
gets
boss,
fun.
the big boss fights and stuff, that game is definitely fun. When you start getting all the powers that you can work with, and
You see,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you wanted to call it a worst shooter, like a worst shooting Destiny,
oh, definitely.
absolutely. But yeah, I
Well,
think
like I said,
The
I
loot,
didn't
the
even get
loot
into
game
the
is
more
much
fun
stronger
stuff.
in Borderlands.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
that
we'll
is-
get into it one day, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We'll file
I
that
would like
under
to.
thing
I'd like to
we
get back
need
to
to
playing
do.
that again. There's so many fucking games. It's so stupid.
It's what? It's never stupid to have too many games.
I mean, kind of, because you never get to play them.
I'll play them all, man. Ask me anything about games.
Oh, but speaking of shooters, I went back and a few of us played the PUBG New Island. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, New
Mhm.
Island.
Hmm.
We messed around with the new
Is it
stuff
an island?
there.
I don't think it's an island, is it?
I think it's a piece of a continent, is what we'll
See,
call it.
there's a land
There's the
wall.
mountain. There's the mountains that are
Yeah.
separating the
Yeah.
wall on the west side.
So
I have not played the new map.
the
how
new
is it?
map. That's
I like the new map.
It's good.
basically here's the new map. You drop, and if you find a scope, you're doing great. If you don't find a scope on that new map, you're in trouble.
I don't know
because
about that.
You can see
I put
so
that.
far.
I
on
put that red
map.
dot sight on the.
Mm-hmm.
What was that gun? What's that gun that used to
The
be
Mini
really good?
14?
The Mini 14, and nailed that guy from
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
from a mile away.
But
God,
that's
that-
called luck.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I call
Yeah.
it skills.
Skills,
No.
baby.
Skittles?
I will say the new
Yeah.
map feels like it was designed for the mantling and vaulting system in
Yeah.
a way that original map that does not.
Right.
Mm.
Which
Also,
is
I
cool.
don't know if y'all have played it, but they took the guns off of the other island.
Well, they took
Yeah.
they took the guns out of the starting area. Yeah.
Right. They took them out because
Have they
causing
spread the people out from the starting area yet?
I believe so.
I'm not sure. I just noticed the guns were gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, supposedly they were going to like spread the people out throughout the map or something like that to help with server latency in the beginning of games.
Server and client performance impacts.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, because the beginning, I'm not 100% sure how. Like that shouldn't be what's causing the issue. Like having everyone close together.
To me, I would
really
think
weird.
it would be easier to load them all in one area than all over the map.
Yeah, but then you've got to be way more accurate with your network data. Like when people are 500 meters away from each other, you can kind of guesstimate and fudge a bit. When people are right next to each other, you have to be super accurate, or people are going to notice that, like, hey, I'm not where I'm supposed to be according to where you see me.
The issue I see with it is yes, everyone packed in the same area in the very beginning is gonna have a lot more. It's gonna be a lot more data intensive in that separate little chunk that they have built. But here's the thing: everyone's still gonna be packed in that damn plane in the beginning of the game, so you're still gonna have that issue.
Right. So, at one point, they're all gonna have to come together.
Right.
It's gonna happen. And I would say that the way they do it now, at least they're not having to load textures for the entire map while they're getting the game ready. Whereas now, if they have people spawning everywhere, they're loading all the textures at the same time as loading all the characters.
Well, the texture loading is on the client side, so that's not.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a client performance thing.
Those chunks aren't just like black if nobody's there. Like,
how cool would that be, though? Oh my god, I want that as a video game.
That would be kind of cool. You could tell if people are in an area just because it's actually there.
Right, the map is loaded there.
That'd be a cool little idea, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we went back to that. PUBG doesn't need a whole lot of talking about. It's always there. We know about it.
I mean, to add on to that, like, Mike, have you heard? Well, first of all, have they implemented that yet? I mean, I think I asked that already. Does anyone know?
If the guns are missing from the spawn island, I would have to assume they are.
Okay.
Because that was supposed to come hand in hand.
Well, if you don't know for sure, I'm guessing you don't know if they've actually reported that the beginning of games are better now.
Yeah, that I don't know. I haven't.
So I'm really curious if that's going to fix the problem. Because if I had to guess what the problem is, it's the actual plane ride where it's throwing 100 people through those chunks really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know their net code, and I don't know enough about it to fucking. It's just when I try to think it through my head logically, it just doesn't make sense.
I wonder if they're super stuck on the you get to decide where you drop thing, or if they might end up making it to where if the plane is the issue, they just auto decide where everybody goes at the beginning of the game.
That's how H1Z1 King of the Kill handles it. When the match spawns, people just get dropped in random positions over it.
I think the plane drop is one of the best parts of that game.
Yeah, the plane drop is definitely a thing that is like not necessarily unique to PUBG, but is one of its defining things. Which is why Fortnite has it.
Yeah, I do not see them getting rid of the plane no matter what.
Yeah, you'd never have 30 people dropping in one spot if they decided where everybody went, type thing. So,
yeah, I mean, the real thing is, let's just write some better code to make it work. Other games do that kind of stuff and it works fine.
PUBG is making a lot of money. They need to just go ahead and sit down, do what they need to do, and get the game where it needs to be, because it's still. I mean, even though it's
spending a lot of that money,
I know they are.
They hired a bunch of people.
I mean, they've still got to execute. Just because they've got people working there doesn't mean.
Well, I mean, that takes time. I mean,
it does.
It takes 4 or 5 years to make a game, so that's not going to be something that's done overnight.
The difference is we're playing this game as it's being finished instead of waiting for it. So, but it's still a good game. It's got its issues, but we all enjoy playing it except Paul.
It's released, okay? Let's just be clear. They released the game, so don't fucking...
So they kept their promise.
I'm just saying, don't give the cop-out of we're playing this game while they're finishing it. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, they released it, but the game is not done. I mean, it's not. The
game is done.
The game's is
I don't agree with that, Seth.
Statement's a damning statement, Seth.
It's a release
That's
game.
how you really feel.
Just because it's has its issues doesn't
Really
mean it's not a
scratch.
done game. I mean, do you want to call any Bethesda game never finished?
Listen,
Yes.
Skyrim is almost done. They're almost done.
20
Look,
releases
when the Skyrim
later.
comes out on the next gen consoles,
It
then
might.
it'll
It
be
still
done.
runs at 10
It will.
FPS and crashes
It
every
might.
day.
So, okay. I mean, it's done. Whatever.
All right, Paul.
Yeah. Hey, hello.
I
What did
didn't
you-
even finish.
What did you didn't
Dickhead.
finish? What are you talking
You
about?
had more games.
Yeah, he's got way
What
more
else did you
games.
have? You talked about
I
everything
had-
in your list.
I did not.
There's one more thing he hasn't talked. There's two more things. He hasn't
Two more
talked about.
things I didn't talk about. One of them is best game, and it's I
What,
think
Dragon
it's
Ball
on
Fighter
all
Z?
of our lists. No, Xenoblade.
Oh, nobody played
Uh,
that game.
I spent.
I can think
We'll talk about that game next month.
Fuck y'all.
when some important people finish it.
Listen, Seth,
Right.
if we put an addendum on this podcast, podcast episode 10 presented by
Fuck you.
Xenoblade 2.
Xenoblade 2.
I know.
boy.
I can't talk about
No,
it.
talk
No,
about
you
it.
can talk
tell,
about it.
Tell me everything you
I'm
know
just
about
giving you
Xenoblade.
shit. You know that.
No, I really don't want to because I don't want y'all to. It's a really good game, and you were both just being dicks and not finishing the game. And
How is it
eventually
being
I'm gonna
dicks?
No,
spoil it.
okay. No, okay, here. Let's talk about the game a little bit. So whenever I play that game, I fall asleep because I'm bored as fuck.
Oh.
Do you really?
Yeah. And I know it it's pretty early. Like, I have 2 blades. I know eventually I'll get 3 and I'll be able to do juggles and more. And from this talking with you, eventually combat starts to get fast and frantic and I won't be able to worry about where I am in my auto combo before I do my skills or whatever. But I'm having such a difficult time getting that far that it's like
You just have to give it 30 hours and it starts to get good. Just 30 hours and
I mean,
I
really,
mean, there's a
you
lot
got-
of games like that.
I know I'm gonna put the time into it, but it's like I've got all these other games to play.
this one
Right,
feels
right.
like work.
Right, kind of, which is bad because it means the longer I'm away from it, the less I'm gonna remember when I go back to it.
Yeah,
All I
that's
know
always a
is that I'm a
problem.
terrorist because I blew up the water tower.
You do need to just sit down and play. But how about this? We don't have
Well,
to
it
go.
sounds like
into
he falls
spoilers
asleep when he
or
sits down and plays.
Right, when I need to go to bed, I just boot up Xenoblade. I'm like, oh yeah, tell me all about the wonderful sights in the world.
Let me at least get another fellow podcaster here finish the game. So let's get Paul.
I'm not sure you want to get
Paul.
Paul's opinion.
I do.
on
I
it.
do. Whether it's bad or good, I want to get Paul's opinion on the game.
Because I feel like he's having my Zelda thing where as he gets away from the game.
So, okay. So since the last real podcast, I played and beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It took me 103 hours, 104 hours to do the whole thing, and I
That's
didn't do
half
all
of a
the side-
Persona run.
Yeah, half of your Persona run. It's the same as my Persona run, which, God.
Which means you didn't
Um,
platinum it like I did.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
King
the
of
King of
Persona.
hmm Anyways, no, I can definitely see what Seth sees in this game. I think the soundtrack is good. I think it definitely. So I have a gotcha problem. I really love
story-wise?
opening boxes. No, gotcha, like
Oh.
gotcha games.
Okay.
I like Overwatch. My favorite part is watching the box open.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that. And this game has a system where you collect blades in it, and you do it a
You should
lot.
probably specify that blades are actual characters.
Blades
and not
are
weapons.
characters. I'm sorry. The blades. So
Teammates.
I don't know. Teammates. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go into details about how the game works or whatever, but you collect anime girls, and that's like my favorite thing.
I mean, basically.
There's like 6
Yeah.
anime boys, and the rest are all anime girls.
Yeah.
And they
Best Bear.
well, yeah. They determine your fighting style, your element, your weapon, and also what special abilities you have. So the blades are important, and you have 3 of them, like Mike said, eventually. Hang in there, buddy.
I'm sure I'll get there at some point.
Yeah, and once you get 3 blades, the strategic options kind of open up to you, and the game does get kind of interesting. My problem with the game, so I think the game is good. It was on my list of best games of 2017, and I still think it belongs there.
Okay.
I think the game takes entirely too long to like cut the umbilical cord and let you actually go experience the game. It holds your hand through most of the game. Like literally, this isn't fair, but the game has 10 chapters. At the beginning of chapter 9, it's like 90 hours into the game.
Yeah.
There's
a tutorial.
There's a fucking tooltip tutorial that pops up
What?
and teaches you how to do a combat maneuver.
Are you
Right.
serious?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's something
I'm
new.
dead serious.
Is it? Wait. Is
It's
this
a
something you
silly-
could have been doing the whole time?
No.
It's
It's
something
okay.
brand new.
Okay.
It's legitimately new, but I feel like a game that waits until the 11th hour to introduce a mechanic that you can only use unless you kept all your side quests until then, which if you did, they're going to be fucking easy peasy. But unless you kept all your side quests till then, you don't have a lot of combat left in the game to use this new ability. And that's a pet
Like
peeve.
3
of mine.
boss fights.
I mean,
Like,
This
why
is-
put a mechanic in a game that you're just going to use? Literally, there's 2 boss fights after that.
But the mechanic they added was very story related. It wouldn't have made sense for you to get that back when you got Poppy at the beginning of the game.
There's another story related mechanic from chapter 7 or 8, chapter 8. It's at the end of chapter 7 / beginning of chapter 8, which again is 70 hours into this game, and it's a pretty major thing. Like it's story related, yes. I'll acknowledge it's story related, so I understand why they couldn't do it earlier. But I question why you bother doing it at all as a gameplay feature if you're only going to be able to take advantage of it for a short time.
Well, my other question about that is, did they do the thing in the other 2 Xenoblade games where the hardest content is basically at the end of the game with all the extra bosses that are around?
So there's bosses you can kill, but there's not like yes, I mean you played enough to see that level 90 gorilla or whatever.
Right.
There are big world bosses that you can go kill, but there's no rewards associated with it. Besides grinding out legendary whatchamafrazzits.
The capsule blade things.
There's nothing in the game guiding you to do it. There's aside from finishing off certain blades, like tech trees, which require you to kill certain monsters or collect certain things. There's no handhold. They hold your hand the whole game, and then they don't give you an incentive to go kill these super monsters besides just the thrill of killing them.
I mean, that sounds like a Japanese ass game.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm also looking forward to. I go do that other stuff, looking forward to the story content that they've promised to come out later this year. I know that my levels aren't going to be wasted, or farming isn't going to be wasted because there's more of the game to come, and I enjoy playing every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun with it. Like I said, I still think it's one of the best games of 2017, and I enjoyed the battle system once they let you play it.
Yeah,
I think it takes too long to do that. I think it holds your hand for too long.
I think it was too complicated to just let you loose on it at the beginning.
Is it really that complex?
No, it's not.
Once you get it, it's not.
You guys are already at the point where they should let you do everything. Like the point that you guys are
then
both
it's not
at,
really complicated at all then.
because you've gotten to the point where you've had the tutorial about bursting orbs, generating orbs and bursting them.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations. You should be free to go.
Right.
class should be over, and it should now be challenging you. By the time the game lets you do whatever you want and do all that stuff, the game is really easy. I think this game suffers from being entirely too easy.
Yeah. There's a point, if you over level yourself doing side quests, you'll run through the later dungeons in the game, and there is no RPG fear of running through these dungeons with these monsters that might attack you and kill you, and you have to go slow and pull 1 or 2 and kill those work your way through.
The story bosses are a joke too. I didn't even Seth, you did all the stuff. You did all the quests, right?
Yes.
I did not do all the side quests, and I didn't even start doing side quests really. I did some in the very beginning, and then I did a bunch in chapter 8.
Yeah.
The bosses in chapter 6 and 7 were fucking easy too. Like, none of the game was difficult. I only died, like, I only got stuck on a boss. I don't think I died to a boss more than once in the game at all.
Wow.
Like, I never had to fight the
Wow.
same fight more than twice.
I mean, did it ever get
difficulty
close?
is definitely part of it. It's almost too easy.
I didn't do the Japanese stuff like you said earlier. Like, I didn't go out and I never killed that monkey because there was no like bounty board or anything that made me want to go do it, where I could track my progress and see what all I've killed and check it off a list.
Yeah,
like,
it's straight up. We have this thing here if you actually want to take the challenge of
I don't know.
killing it.
I mean, maybe it's me, but like, I like having a list of things and checking things off of the list and feeling like I did this list of 10 monsters and now I get this stupid fucking title or something. Like, it can be nothing. I mean, it's a game. None of this matters at all anyway, but
I mean, that's just
something
that's how they've built those
incentivize
games
you.
over there for years, where the hard content
you
is
say
just
that,
in the
but
game,
fucking
but there's nothing showing.
Final Fantasy 12 had a bounty board with bounties on it. Like, the whole idea was like, there's these big scary monsters, and the way we incentivize you or let you know to go kill them is not story related. It's still side questy.
But that's the only time that Final Fantasy has ever done that.
I mean, 15 had bounty hunt.
15 did that. I mean,
Oh,
they were set up as side quests. 13 did the same thing too. Like,
you're
13
naming all these bad Final Fantasy games.
13.2 and 13.3.
I mean, it's something that is just now starting to come into effect, and maybe it's just something they didn't.
Just a design choice, I guess.
Maybe expected in the next Xenoblade.
I mean, some people love that shit when it's not when there's no direction, there's nothing telling you that this is there. Like, you go find it yourself.
Just find it. Well,
I mean that's why a lot of people like Zelda.
I like not having any icons left. Like, I don't want to have any fucking question marks.
Well, they don't
I don't want to have any of that.
They don't have an icon for those monsters.
No, they don't. That's what I like. I can go kill them if I want to, or if I ignore
you
one,
like not
it
feeling
doesn't,
like you have to.
It doesn't like kill me that it's sitting over there not being done, because that's how I look at it. So the fact that nothing's telling me I have to, but if I run across this big ass 8 that needs killing, well, we'll just hang him up and kill him.
Yeah.
So
but,
that brings me another question, Seth. Kind of, a little tiny segue. But you hated Zelda, right?
I wasn't. Don't get me wrong.
He gave it a 7 or an 8. It was good or great.
He just didn't like it.
I just didn't like the game.
I mean, did you like that aspect of the game where there wasn't waypoints? It was just things were there.
The fact that I could do it however I wanted to do it.
Yes.
Yes, I liked it. I knew I had 100 shines to do, but
yeah, you had the shrines thing.
I just kind of did it however I wanted to do it. Like, there was nothing restraining me. And if I would have decided not to do it, there was nothing on my map that would have told me, hey, you don't have this done. So yeah, that I like that. Like in Zelda, the Korokoro thing, the fucking so you get shit at the end of it. I didn't go get them all. Normally in a game like that, I would have collected.
I was really afraid you were going to.
One.
Yeah, I would. I was terrified you were going to.
I think he would have if he had enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I probably would have. And if the reward had been better, like an unbreakable master sword.
Oh, it's such a good reward though.
But anyways, no, it's not a bad game. It wasn't my favorite, even close. It's not my favorite Zelda. He married the wrong girl. He made bad choices.
He didn't marry Zelda.
Whatever.
Nothing's set in stone yet.
Whatever. You know what I mean. He's choosing wrong.
Don't tell Paul he can't marry his sister.
But I would have said,
kill his heart.
Right.
I don't know if I've said this on a podcast yet, but one thing about that game that I really wish they would have done better, those 3 dragons that were the Chinese-esque dragons should have been fight. Like, really awesome boss fights of some type instead of what they did with those dragons. I think they missed a huge opportunity to make those really cool world bosses.
I thought it was kind of unique that they weren't boss fights and the way you interact with them.
Yeah.
Like, you get those special materials from them. I thought that was cool. I think I would have liked it less, that part of it less, if there were actual fights. Cause
Really?
Yeah.
I
thought it was.
I mean,
I
you
thought it was
both
really
want
cool
good
the
boss
way they
fights,
handled it.
but I feel like you disagree about
That's
where
the
you
thing,
want
like,
those boss fights from. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, we're looking for a good boss fight in Breath of the Wild, and we didn't get it.
Right, and I think
But-
that's the thing. The first time I saw that dragon flying,
maybe
I
this
was
would be a
just
good boss
climbing a mountain sky.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, do I get to fight that big green bitch over there?" Like that was my instant thought. And no, I get to shoot him later in a hail fall.
No, I really liked those dragons the way they handled it. I thought that was really cool.
But it's good game, not best game. That's
I
what I
agree.
say.
As much as I shit on
Yeah.
that game, I did enjoy playing it. But
talking about
And-
Xenoblade again.
No,
Yeah.
Xenoblade.
Good game, not best game. I agree. That's a strong agree.
Xenoblade, I would say great game, not best game. I mean,
Oh.
there are games that
Uh-oh.
beat Xenoblade going back. Like it's not my favorite
Oh.
game of all time. It's my
God, I
favorite
would
game I
love that.
played last year, but it's not the best game I've ever played.
I thought you
Yeah.
were about to tell us that it wasn't your best game of 2017.
No, it was. It was my
Okay.
favorite game from last year.
Okay.
Easily. It really was. I enjoyed every minute of the 140 something hours I put into it. And I would, if they told me tomorrow that they were releasing something that was another 140 hours, I would be playing it Monday at work.
It's New Game Plus.
Right.
Oh yeah, did you hear about that, Seth?
Do they have a new game plus? Because don't play with me.
It's
I will
coming.
start tomorrow.
It's coming.
They have it coming. Yeah. Do you have the
Yeah.
expansion pass?
I thought it was a free update.
I don't know, but I will new game plus that shit tomorrow.
I
So-
thought the New Game Plus was a free update.
Well,
Yeah,
part of me just wants to know if he has the expansion pass.
I think I do. I'm not sure though. If not, I'll buy it.
Nick, you should buy it.
Probably should,
includes-
yeah.
New quest pack in January. I wonder if that already came out. I think it
Yeah.
did.
And new storyline in
American
December or something like that.
Brand new story content in fall.
Yeah. So
But
I'm excited. If they add to that game,
I don't know how they're gonna do new story content.
I don't either. But
let's not
I
spoil
don't want to
anything.
ruin
But,
that for them too.
It's a prequel.
It's pretty cool.
Well, there's nothing
It
to
might
ruin.
be.
It's not a good story. Stories.
It is a good story. It is a good story.
It's fine. It's really cliche.
I mean, I got
is
that-
it
going
every
into-
game ever?
Not really. But
Yeah.
This one's like.
I mean, I got the
super-
feeling it was going to be like that. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Destiny 2 had a very cliche story. I mean,
Well, you got to
Right.
start somewhere. Destiny, you got to start
I was
somewhere
like-
with the Destiny
I was like,
story.
oh, you're right. It's just at the same level of Destiny 2. I would agree with that. Sure.
I mean, the good parts in Destiny are not the main story content. We'll say that.
but
Let's not get on that again, though.
no, I like the blades and the gameplay and the
Voice acting
interactions, the interactions with your characters when they start fighting. What did you do the girl talk fight in on Gimbu?
No, so there's a lot of stuff I didn't like. I got a bunch of the blades. Like, there's only 2 blades I didn't get, or 3 blades I didn't get.
Is one of them
One was the
of
first
ones I
blade.
have?
One of the one is the one that you got your very first blade.
Oh, Cosmos.
she's- No, one is Cosmos, and then one is Theory, which is a blade you get by maxing out another blade. And I didn't use that other blade, so I'd have to grind that other blade to max affinity. And I was like, well,
Made it real sharp, right?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Made it real small too.
Yeah.
No.
You can do it
told
in the New
Seth
Game
I would
Plus.
do it. Right. If you keep your blades for New Game Plus, I don't even know. That'd be crazy.
That'd be.
I think
well,
New Game Plus is gonna let you play the game the way they should have let you play it from the beginning.
I
Like,
mean,
know
New
what the
Game
fuck you're
Plus
doing.
has always been you keep everything.
No.
It totally depends on
No.
the game, dude.
It depends on the game.
The ones I've played, you keep all your items and everything, and you just go into the story at level 1, but you have everything.
I could see you keeping your blades, honestly, but I could see
And-
them all being leveled down to 1.
Yeah, you have to start
well,
over with their trust and everything.
I would
Right,
hope
and
you'd
your
at least get to
level will be
keep
reset.
them.
Right,
Yeah.
because the whole thing the whole thing's a gotcha system. So it's like had to restart and I didn't get to pick the blades I wanted to pick, that'd be really annoying. And hopefully let you use 3 from the beginning, and hopefully they don't like make you wait until chapter 10 to do stuff.
Oh, what if New Game Plus is like you don't get to do anything? You have one blade, one party member, hard mode.
Oh my god.
Let's move on.
Anyway, so that game was okay. That game was okay. Pretty good.
Well, I'm glad I finally got your opinion on it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
What's the other game you've been playing?
Dragon Ball FighterZ, and we'll get into that later. I'm sure
fuck it, we'll just get into it now.
Dragon Ball.
Here we go.
Cha-la, hey cha-la. I don't remember any of the other words.
Well, Paul, you can go ahead and mute yourself for a few minutes. We've got talking to do.
Yep. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Don't you go anywhere, Paul. I need your opinions on Goku.
Is he a son? Is
he a dad? What's up with? Is he blue? Is he black?
Why is he beating up his children? Like
one of my favorite.
Why is he telling his children he'll see him in the grave?
When will he be proud of his son?
One of my favorite moments in this game
it now, Gohan!
Was Goku finds Gohan, and they have a moment of Goku being like, hey, we could just fuse together if you're scared of your power, and then everything will be good. And then Goku goes and asks the question that everybody's always wondered. What would our name be? Would it be like Gohan? Gohan? Wait, no, your name's Gohan.
Jeez.
It cracked me up.
It's a very Goku answer, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, let's break the meta here. Paul has muted himself because we're talking about Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that sounds like Paul.
And he turned on Civilization 6. He is leaning back. He's getting comfortable. I mean, I can almost hear the chair click as he leans it back.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I suck at it, but I'm enjoying the story.
Same.
No
bullshit.
Nope.
I'm not good at that game.
No, that's not true.
I am not good at that game.
You're better than us.
That doesn't mean I'm good at the game.
I mean,
in our eyes, it does. You beat me with all humans.
Well, it's auto combo.
I tell you what, I am playing with the androids right now. Android 17 is really good.
Android 18. Android 18 is
18,
dumb.
My bad.
Yeah. You call yourself a fan?
Really quick. I enjoy it. She's definitely one of the best story characters I've played with so far.
Spoilers. Android 18's in the story?
Wow. Who would have guessed the Android?
Can I return this thing on Steam still?
No, you're the only one who can't. Sorry, buddy.
I done fucked up.
No, I've been playing that game. That game's really good.
The game is really good.
But
after whatever this is, where we can't hear each other.
What? What is happening right now?
Hear me.
Yep. We can hear you.
Oh wow.
We can hear you.
We got that musical interlude in the podcast there.
Hold on. I don't like it. I don't like it when I don't like this idea that Seth's gonna take my job. I'm the singer. I'm the songsman. I'm protected by the union, motherfucker.
Where were we? My sound went out.
We're talking about Dragon
We're talking
Ball.
about how good Dragon Ball FighterZ is.
How good 18 was. She's really good.
Well, we were kind of past that, but okay.
Oh well.
The game's so good.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we're back. Yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Fighters as the official pronunciation goes.
They really fucked up. FighterZ is such a better name.
You know it's good if it convinced Jimmy and Seth to buy a fighting game, right?
Right. It was all of our game of E3s except for Paul.
Yeah. It was. What was Paul's game of E3?
I think it was Battlefront 2.
Oh,
look what happened there.
Oh, Paul. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. You picked the wrong one. We picked
you picked the worst one, some might say.
I was a big DICE fan.
Yeah, you
rolled the dice on that one, baby.
It came up all craps. Bazinga! I don't know how you gamble.
You lose all your money.
Oh, nice. Speaking of losing all your money, Dragon Ball FighterZ has taken all my money.
Uh-oh.
Because it is an expensive game if you want to get all the characters.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you bought a stick.
No, I would never buy a stick. I'm not good with sticks.
Oops.
What are the characters you can buy?
So there is a $35 season pass for 8 unannounced characters, some of which have potentially been data mined, but it's
Wait, is it really $35? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's $35.
Wow.
Which I guess isn't technically as bad because the other ArcSys fighting game coming out soon has half the roster as DLC.
Oh.
Because they decided, hey, let's make that crossover game with Persona and BlazBlue and Ruby and whatever the last one is.
I mean, are the characters the only thing coming in this DLC?
Yeah.
For $35? Wow.
Well, I should say probably. There might be like lobby avatars and stuff, but typically ArcSys fighting games, when they get DLC, it's only characters. And the only thing promised in the season pass, the only thing promised is is at least 8. So people are hopeful there might be more, but yeah, it's probably.
I'm guessing 17 is going to be one.
I mean, there's plenty of missing characters.
Yeah.
So the rumor is that 17 will be a lobby avatar and not a playable character.
Oh.
I already have 17 as a lobby avatar.
It's the Ranger version, whatever that means. I'm not up to date.
Ranger 17
with your kids' new Dragon Balls, but
I mean, they're missing Saiyaman.
Yeah.
I feel like that one's got to be in there eventually. Kid Goten and Kid Trunks.
Yeah.
Like separately instead of Gotenks. It'd be funny if they put Bulma in there somehow.
That would be pretty good.
She has capsule command things that she can throw or something. That'd be kind of.
She's
funny.
A summons character or whatever.
Right. Or has like some like mech or something that fights for. I don't know.
Right.
That'd be really funny. Yeah, Seth, you're right. Roshi needs to be in there. Who else? It'd be kind of cool if they had like old evil Piccolo.
What if they had
King Piccolo?
King Piccolo, yeah.
What if they had
Mr. Popo? That's who.
Mr. Popo and Kami.
Yeah.
Nail.
Nail.
Get out all of those guys.
And then we can be like, Nail, I saw a fish. No, that's what it's got to be. Nail and Kami come together, and Kami just sits in the background and yells at Nail while Nail fights. And it would be.
This isn't a Dragon Ball Abridged episode, Seth.
Might as well be.
And I mean, some of the jokes. Yeah. Anyway.
But so how are you guys finding the fighting in this? Because one of the big things they did is the auto combo stuff, right? Where you can just mash square, triangle, or circle a bunch, and you'll get a stylish, if not incredibly damaging, combo out.
Yes. So I like how accessible the game is compared to a lot of other fighting games.
It's very simplistic.
Yes, I mean those are the only fighting games I play. Like I played the shit ton of Dissidia because it was really simple. There wasn't anything where you're putting 20 commands to get a move. Like just make it a little simpler because I don't like memorizing all that shit. That's not fun for me.
It lets you see the cool things without having to be good at the game.
Yes. Like
you can do the story mode, and as long as you never go play somebody real like Mike, you can feel like you're pretty decent at the game. And that's what I need out of a game like this.
I mean, Mike hasn't letting me win, so I get a little.
I've not been letting you win.
Those little boosts of endorphin every once in a while when he plays characters he doesn't know how to play. So
you're getting better. You've learned all about the special powers that you can do.
Except he picks Cell, and I don't even hurt him. So
I mean, Cell's the perfect life form. He says it right there on the tin.
God. Oh.
My wife brought me fresh cinnamon rolls. Okay,
what?
We can keep going. My wife just brought me fresh cinnamon rolls.
I can hear you getting fatter.
Does she want to get on the podcast?
She's buying her way on, guys.
Oh boy, that's the
Pork
cinnamon
chop
cast.
getting him some cinnamon rolls.
Oh god.
10-4, good buddy pork chop. Welcome to the cinnamon roll podcast.
Please.
Anyways,
don't.
back to where we were.
Please.
But yeah, so Dragon Ball's good, and everyone should play it, and it's the most popular fighting game on Steam by like a tenfold.
Yeah. I mean, probably the most popular fighting game on Steam ever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I think Tekken 7 had the previous record with like 20,000 concurrent players, and this
wasn't it over 50K the other night?
Yeah, it was over 50,000. So,
God.
Do you think this game is more popular than the creators expected it to be?
On PC, yes.
On PC, yes.
Okay.
I think after they showed it at E3, they realized, oh, we have something here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because from what I could tell,
the game is gorgeous.
yeah, from what I could tell though, their presence like on the E3 show floor was just a lady running a booth. That was like, yeah, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, and I really wanted to make a Dragon Ball game, and we finally got the license. And then it turned into like, oh, we've won so many like Game of Show awards and stuff. We might like this might actually be the biggest thing we ever made.
You look at it and you're like, wait, I can actually fight and do things like they do in the show, and it looks like an actual Dragon Ball fight.
Yeah, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous, and everything's spot on. It's so good.
I can blow the planet up as Frieza, and that's okay.
Right.
And Krillin can do his Destructo discs and remind me what it means to be human.
And Frieza's Destructo discs hurt him. I don't know if you caught that one.
Yeah.
Like that's really good.
That's really good. Like Nappa can cancel out of his dive kick. He is the only character who can, explicitly because of the scene where Nappa goes to hit somebody and Vegeta says, "Wait, stop. We need them alive."
Mm-hmm. There's so many little things like that in this game that I've seen already that it's like, oh, the attention to detail is ridiculous.
It's like you guys really love your Dragon Ball.
Right, and there's one guy in that studio who is a
really loves Yamcha.
Yamcha fan.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Yamcha was good?
Well, I wanted to save it for here because they've explained that, right?
What, the Yamcha's good
they've
again?
explained what?
Why Yamcha's good in this game.
Well, I'm sure the director is like, it has a huge bonus for Yamcha or something, right?
In the story, everybody else is weak. And Yamcha is so weak that he didn't get weakened how everybody else did. So he's stronger than everybody else. Yes.
Oh my God, that's so good.
That's so good.
They talk about it in the game, and it's hilarious.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
That's really good.
I need to play the story.
Yeah, you do. I need to play the story. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
God, it's funny.
Wow. Okay. I am okay with Yamcha being really good now.
At one point,
I was really upset earlier, but now I'm completely fine.
During that part, either Cell or Frieza goes, so it's not bad to suck or something. It was really, really good, and I'm glad it's in there. I'm
really surprised at like how funny some of the moments in this game are.
Right.
Like
totally.
not all of it. I mean, yeah, there's some really cheesy, stupid shit like you'll get in any fighting game that's, from anything. Or any game that's from a show IP or something like that. But like there are some jokes that really hit. It's really surprising.
But yeah. So I'm enjoying it. Story's good.
I wanna get good. I really do.
You just gotta spend time, man. Like that's
I don't think time can even help me with this. I'm just not good. I don't remember things like after I get hit by a key blast, I'm like, oh, I should have warped behind him. But my mind never tells me to do that type of stuff in the middle of fighting. And the way some people blend their combos together, I don't do it. Even if I know how to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do very simple combos, build up my key gauge, and do really cool looking shit and hope to win the fight. That's Seth.
Except for me, I put up my key gauge, try to do really cool shit, and it just never fucking happens.
And then you shoot a single little
because I just shoot a single fucking fireball at somebody. It goes in the air, not even straight at him, and then he gets a full 40 combo on me. Like, oh,
because
God.
I've seen videos of people doing like double people coming in. They know perfectly what their other fighters do, because your other fighters, depending on where you're at in a combo, what they come in and do can be different. Like Vegeta will jump up in the air and shoot shit down. Goku comes in and does a Kamehameha. But they have everything sequenced so good that they'll throw one into another, and just things that I would never think to put together in a game like this.
Both Gohans will uppercut into the air. And yeah, Goku comes in and does the Kamehameha.
So yeah, I'd say, Seth, the thing with that though, that's just a matter of like time, right? Like you just learn what your assist can do, and you spend time in the practice mode being like, oh, if this happens, can I do this? Oh, okay, if this hits this, can this lead to this? And if you don't want to do that, like, I mean, that's like the position I'm in right now is out of like, do I want to spend time picking 3 characters and then like learning their combos, getting the muscle memory down so that I know when I hit this, I need to hit this, this, and this with this timing, and have the muscle memory down so much that I don't even think about it. It just keeps coming out. Or do I just want to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I know this works and this works and this works, so I'll just kind of match these together and see what happens, which is kind of where I'm at right now.
But my thing with this game is I don't have the desire to get that good at this game. It's not like one day I'm going to be doing some type of in-game content in this game where it's going to justify me being that good.
That's kind of,
man. What if one day Porkchop's up on the Evo stage?
Yeah, I mean
that's kind of where I want to get at with this particular topic
fighting
of this game. Yes, Seth, the way I see you play like fucking 14 and shit, like I see this fucking cinder block, and there's a fighting game master, and then there's somewhere that can be carved out.
Totally.
Like when I was really scared about you getting this game, because I could totally see you just fucking obliterating this if you really put work into it.
Yeah, but I don't have the drive or need to. Like, when I've told y'all before, I want to be better at Destiny as we play Destiny, because there's going to be raids come out. There's going to be things that we have to do in the future where my skill is going to affect what we're doing. Whereas in this game, I don't ever see that other than to fight against y'all. And I don't like PvP in games. I don't like fighting against my friends. If it was a thing of, hey, we're going to enter this tournament, one of us controls each of the 3 characters on this team, and we want you for our 3rd member, then I could be like, okay, they're going to need me to be better at this game. I need to get better at this game. That would drive me. But this game doesn't have that for me that would push me to that.
I was like, Mike and I were actually talking about this the other day, and like the Destiny thing, and you're perfectly fine at the PvE content, like the raid and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're perfectly, you're okay. Like you haven't really been an issue. Like we've played with much worse people that have held us back in the raid. I can't really think of a single time where that's been you.
Right.
I mean,
like when we've taken the time to explain things, like you've always been right there and pick up on it enough, confidently to it's never been an issue.
Well, that's a lot of raiding experience.
It's the PvP stuff.
Yeah, I'm horrible at it.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the PvP stuff could use some work.
But I don't even want to. I hate it. Like I don't want to be better at it. I just want to finish it every week. I absolutely hate it. I hate going in PvP because I don't like it. I don't like PvP in 14. I don't like PvP in any game I play because I feel like there's really 2 sets of people. There are the people who play PvE so that they can PvP, and there are people who play PvP and only play. You know what I'm talking about? They don't do both.
I think there's a third group that enjoys both.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are, but they get raped by the other one. Ones that constantly.
I enjoy both in time.
Well, you do really well at the other one, the PvP. You get like 20-something kills.
I don't do well at PvE, huh?
Yeah,
yes, you do.
Yeah, that's why we kept fucking up the gauntlet run, Jimmy, because you can't carry your balls.
damn it.
Jimmy does good at all of it. Jimmy is a Destiny god.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Like, we would win Trials of the Nine if we could all be Jimmy.
That's not
It's
true.
what I'm trying to say.
That's not true.
That is true.
I mean, Jimmy, you're really the best PvPer out of all of of us.
That is true. You can cook a headshot. Like
I mean, I'll agree with that.
But
Paul.
I mean,
Hello? What'd I do?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
if y'all told me that y'all didn't want to do PvP with me anymore, I would be like, okay.
I would never say that.
I know.
You'd be like, okay, I guess I'll find some new friends that love me for how bad I am.
Seth, you want the real secret? A, I would never say that. B, no, I'll give you A, B, C here. A, I would never say that. B, I would always play it with you if you wanted to play it, and I would always ask you to play it with me. C, I love playing PvP with you because it brings in all the bad people and I fucking roll them.
Yeah. That's why Jimmy seems so good, by the way.
Yeah. I have noticed when I don't play with y'all, I get like a whole lot. I'm normally 1 or 2 on my team. I'm doing awesome. I'm getting kills left and right. And then I go play with y'all and I get obliterated. And I was like, what's happening here? And the thing is, it's putting better people in the game with me. There's getting shit people that I'm used to playing with, and that's the ones I kill. I normally get like 10 kills a game. And then Jimmy's killing them people too. That's why Jimmy's over here at fucking 420 kills. And
blaze it.
And then you have this one guy on their team that's rocking up like he's killed me 63 times in a row. It's because
so that's why we're losing some of those matches.
And what it is that team's Jimmy has figured out what guy on the team to pinpoint, and it's me. Like Jimmy, I know Jimmy's playing that game and he's like, all right, that's their weak link. Watch me shoot him in the head 300 times.
Oh no, I don't single people out. I kill everyone equally. I got that bloodlust.
Yeah. Well, but I do notice, like, when you're
names.
playing by yourself, you gripe at PvP the whole time, and then you're playing with me, and you're like, "This is awesome! I'm getting kills." Blah blah blah.
The problem with that is when I am playing with you, my stats are getting padded,
right?
So that when I go play by myself, it throws me into the fucking top tier PvP shit,
throws you to the wolves,
and it's it is horrible. Yeah, it takes me so long to finish that fucking weekly stuff when I'm playing by myself in PvP. Because I get fucking matched with Trials players.
I'm not a big PvP person in anything. So fighting against friends, back to Dragon Ball, is just not something that really stands out to me. I'm enjoying the heck out of this game, though, the comedy and the story behind it, and just getting to enjoy fighting with the characters that I've watched Dragon Ball Z since I was a kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
The Ginyu Force is back acting like freaking idiots, and I love that. It's what what really drew me to this game and justified the $60 that honestly I could have waited till it was on sale for the reason I'm going to play it, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind because it's given me what I wanted out of it.
I mean, that's what I'm waiting for in Dissidia. I mean, I'm only gonna be playing that for me. I'm not gonna be that one. I'm probably not gonna be doing PvP stuff with.
Right.
That's just totally gonna be that kind of quirky Final Fantasy fighting. I'm gonna play against AI and do a bunch of jumps with Kane. Like that's gonna be that game for me. So I decided to wait on that. But
yeah, they've said this game isn't canon, but it's throwing in enough extra story stuff that ties in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super that it's just really neat if you're a big fan of the show to play. And that's what
it's kind of like that Xenoverse stuff. Like that had
right.
like its own story stuff that, it's not canon, but
right.
Supposedly a lot of people enjoyed those games for that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, wasn't there a thing where you make your own character and plug them in the Dragon Ball universe or something like that?
Yeah, totally. That's how the Xenoverse games work. By you make your own character, and then if you played the first game, like if you played Xenoverse 1 and then start Xenoverse 2 on the same platform, there is a statue dedicated, like a statue of your first the Xenoverse 1 character in the middle of this online lobby. It's different for everybody, but you would see your character's save file basically because
That's
that character
cool.
like saves the world or whatever. And if you didn't play the first game, it gives you a generic one. But
I almost bought those games a couple of times just because I heard the story stuff was so fun.
mm-hmm.
But I never did. It didn't. This one drew me into it just because of how good it looked and how easy it looked to do the super stuff.
You're right.
No, I on the topic of PvP stuff, I get mad right now because I feel like I can't. It's not, the game's not doing what I want it to do. And if that was the case, I'd be getting less mad probably. But
so I think it's just a matter of you just got to put more time in online, get used to the frame delay and the lag and stuff.
It's gotta be it because when I go into the practice mode, everything is right on point. Like maybe I'm just trying to put it in too fast for the online stuff. Because that's
possible.
how I feel like that's, I don't know. I feel like when you think about it, like you would want to be faster at doing that input, but at the same time,
you do. The thing is, though, if the frame delay is such that if you're inputting stuff like one frame and the frame is getting eaten by the lag, the game doesn't know you did the input correctly.
Right.
Like that's why people always talk about don't play fighting games online if you're serious about them.
Right.
Because you need to be able to perform on 0 frame delay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel awesome when I'm playing that practice mode because all my hits,
all your hits hit.
All my hits are actually doing.
All your Masinkos come out, and all my Kamehamehas.
Yeah, I could do 7 fucking Kamehamehas with Goku in a row, like seamlessly. But the minute I get into the online game with you, it's there's a fireball. There's a fireball. So I don't know. I'm hoping switching to the joystick helps, but we'll see. It seemed to be more consistent, I think. When I first started, I was switching back and forth. But then today when I was playing with you earlier, I was just trying D-pad. But I think maybe I'll try from now on just using the joystick and see how that goes. I mean, you'd think it'd be better. I mean, why do people buy fighting sticks, right?
Right, rolling from left to right, you would think.
Right.
Yeah, but there's the way an analog stick is set up compared to the gate,
totally.
the gates and stuff.
It'd totally be faster. Yeah. It's totally faster to use the D-pad. It's just not working for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna be wanting to be
right.
top
use
tier
what
at the game.
Use what works for you, right?
Right. If I can get that to work for me and I'm feeling okay playing the game and I don't feel like if I feel like I'm losing because of skill all the time, that's whatever. I'm never gonna be really good at the fighting game. Yeah, but when I feel like half the time I'm losing because it's not executing the commands I'm inputting, that's something else.
Yes.
But yeah, we haven't played much of that game. We'll probably more to say on that game next month, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But let's move on. So let's wake up Paul from his Civ 6 nap.
Hello.
Paul, when are you getting Dragon Ball, Paul?
Oh, what? Is that an anime?
Yeah, the sister's fucking it.
Oh.
Now he's awake.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Poppy QT pie.
Oh my god. Paul, what did you play?
Oh, my turn?
Uh-huh.
Played Xenoblade.
Uh-huh, we heard.
Mm-hmm.
For lots of hours.
21, 22?
104, 105.
Oh, so like 24 hours.
Yeah. I played a lot of Civ 6 in the last 30 minutes.
Is that good?
Yeah. The Persian Empire shall be massive. Mark my words.
Okay. Did you find Kuala Lumpur?
No.
Is Kuala Lumpur in the game?
Yeah, I think so. I found La Venta in Carthage. They reduced Carthage to a city-state, which is
really.
Yeah, it's kind of insulting, really. But I guess
a little bit. Yeah.
Meet some Carthage. Yeah, right. Like, who's gonna complain, right? Anyways, yeah. I've been playing. I played some Civ 6 a couple times during the last time since we talked. So there's that. That game's good, and it'll come up again later in the podcast. I played Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, you did.
I need to upload that Paul plays.
Yeah, you do.
And you know what? I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
it was a nice gift. Thank you, Michaelas.
You're
It's
welcome.
a nice gift that you got twice.
Bought it twice because
It's a nice gift.
Did you ever get that refund?
I hope. I didn't actually look. I just, I trust Gabe. You know what? If Gabe doesn't refund me, he probably needs it more than me.
I mean, think about it this way: you've saved so much money in other games.
Right.
What's $7, right?
Speaking of buying things on Steam that you haven't touched yet.
Me?
No, I just Mike bought that for me, and then I didn't accept it at first.
I bought you actively returned it. I think.
Yeah,
I did.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a game that I haven't played yet that I'm planning on playing in the near future that I'll talk about more later. But it's a game called Oxygen Not Included. Have you seen anything about this game?
No.
Oh, that's the clay game, right?
Yeah, it's I think the Don't Starve and I think
Invisible Ink and yeah.
Who is this new Paul?
New Paul.
New
What
Paul
is this?
loves survival games.
New Paul is playing Xenoblade Chronicles. New Paul is playing Monster Hunter. New Paul is playing fucking indie games. Like, what the hell is happening?
Early access indie game.
Right, that's the bigger thing. That game's early access.
What early What the fuck is happening?
Hold on. He's technically not playing this one yet. Did you
I just bought it. Did
you buy it to get the early access discount and are going to wait until it's finished then launch the game?
Oh my god. I could totally see that.
It was cheaper on early access.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There it was.
Knew it.
It looks really good though. I watched Giant Bomb had a quick play up of it, and I watched that, and I was like, "This is dumb," and then it kept going, and I was like, "Oh man, this is."
I know nothing about this
pushing a lot of the buttons that I like.
I've played some of their other games. Explain it to me.
The premise of this game, and again, I haven't played it. I'm telling you this based off the quick look and the $20 charge on my credit card.
Right.
This game.
That went straight from Gabe.
Yeah. It's a survival game in a way. Like it's set in the future, and you start off with 3 replicant people, like cloney people. It's got like a sense of humor about it in terms of them like not mattering or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you get teleported to this world, and it kind of reminds me of. It's a 2D world. It kind of looks like Fallout Shelter, if I were to compare it to something art style wise, and like.
Okay, so kind of cartoony.
Kind of cartoony, not like
old cartoony, like.
Well, it doesn't do like the
Cuphead cartoony.
It doesn't do the pseudo 1950s whatever you want to call what Fallout does. Yeah. But it does like a cartoony aesthetic, and they're all like smiley or frowny.
I think Fallout's 1940s aesthetic, right? Isn't that what it is?
Sure.
No,
Fallout's 50s. It's 50s.
Is it 50s? Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily do that, but it does do like exaggerated facial expressions, and it has the 2D art, like the 2D like side view of like an ant colony kind of thing. And you start the game out, and you just like you're spacefarers, and you have to set up a colony there. And the different people have different attributes that make them better or worse at things, and they're like funny. It kind of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon in that regard, because the attributes aren't always your typical attributes. Like one will be somebody's queasy, so like if they see blood, they'll vomit and run away. Like they can't be around it. Somebody will be like, and there's positive ones too. Like somebody's athletic or something. Like there's some typical ones too. But anyways, it's just. You set up a colony, and like the reason that the game's name Oxygen Not Included is there because it takes into account feeding them, getting them water, and then you're in space, so you have to get them oxygen too.
Okay.
And you do that by like opening up, like because it's like an ant colony, so you're in this like you're underground, and you have to like dig out areas to make into stuff, and certain areas will already be there with oxygen. Like there's a bunch of map overlays, so. You can turn.
So when you said Fallout Shelter, you meant like in the actual like presentation.
I meant the perspective and the style and the way you build things up and the way the little people run around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't recruit the same way. It's a lot deeper than Fallout Shelter. Like this game looks like it's got a ton of depth. Maybe a little too complex for what it's going for. I could see that being an issue. But there's stuff like
just an issue in general.
An issue issue in general, I would say, depending on who's coming to the game. Like it has systems of air ducts. Like I said, oxygen's an issue.
Mhm.
So I saw Vinny had it pretty far. He had a game that was pretty far along, and he had air ducts going all over the place. And he had to like route them through stone, maintain them. They'll get damaged by monsters. There's wiring.
Is it Fallout Shelter meets FTL?
Yeah, I mean, because FTL has the airlocks and stuff. You mean?
Yeah.
Kinda. Oxygen's not used up quite like that.
Is it a better looking Dwarf Fortress?
You mean it actually has graphics?
I don't know if my Dwarf Fortress can answer that.
Is it a better looking Don't Starve?
I would say it looks better than Don't Starve, yeah. Just because I like the style more.
From what he's described, it doesn't sound like Don't Starve at all.
It's Don't Starve in the sense that you get food and water and resources, but the way it controls is totally different. Like, you are God telling these little minion, like you're a god,
Is this a Molyneux game?
No. But you command them to do things, and you can prioritize stuff and all that stuff. I don't know. It looked like a Paul kind of game. Like I thought it looked pretty cool. Mike, it's on your wish list. Are you gonna mention that you know about this game?
I did. I mentioned a little bit.
Oh, do you not know much more than that?
I know as much as you do, basically.
Like, I'll have to check it out.
It's on my wish list because I thought it was a multiplayer game at one point, and then I found it wasn't, and I just haven't taken it off yet.
Oh.
But yeah,
it would be weird as a multiplayer game.
Yes, it would. I thought it was, but I came to it like, oh, this will be like Don't Starve Together. And then I was like, oh no, it's definitely way more base managey.
It's base managey, totally.
More base management, less survival, which is probably why I gravitated towards Dwarf Fortress as an example, even though I don't think it's nearly as complex as that game can get.
No. It's just I think right now it just needs a little refine. I don't know. I'm excited to try it, but I have to get through all this other crap first before I jump into it. It kind of reminds me of Banished, actually. That was gonna be.
I was gonna ask you about that, but I forgot.
Banished. Yeah, that's what I would compare it to in terms of like it's base management. You build structures and you maintain them. The style, the look, and the fact that it's totally different setting would differentiate it. But in terms of like what you're actually doing there, and probably I'm assuming things like modifiers for like I want this seed for this world to be really easy, or I want the seed for this world to be super random, or like no monsters, lots of monsters. I'm sure there'll be stuff like that in this game. It just seems like that kind of game. So I bought that game. I didn't mean to talk about it that much because I haven't played it, but I'm excited about that.
I mean, it sounds cool. I don't know if I would like it, but.
Right. I mean, you never played Banished, did you?
No. I think I would have liked Banished. At least
I put
at least, for like
that game.
I know. I think I would have liked it for probably like 10 hours or so, maybe.
Oh, it's so good. And one dude, it's anyways.
I played
that.
Very impressive game.
Yeah. I played Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
Which is a free to play. We talked about it briefly last time.
Right.
Because Mike played it and I hadn't. It's a really cool thing, and I think it is worth. Like, I think you should play it, Jimmy.
Really?
I don't think Seth should.
What? Seth can read?
Yeah, he can. That's true.
Total rude, I think.
I think it's really.
I like how he sounded like surprised.
Right.
You know how fast I just read those books you had me read?
Right?
Oh, books. Are we talking about books?
Oh, no. Hey, keep the book. No. The bookcast comes up during the break. Keep the bookcast back in its room.
Boy.
But no, that's a visual novel game with a twist, and it's made by Americans, or at least Westerners. And
I feel like all novels are visual. Like, you can see all of them.
That's not
it's a genre.
It's not what this is.
Blind people can read.
But that was cool. That was a
Paul
cool thing.
listens to his books, so I mean, clearly not.
Ooh.
I can't read. I have to listen to everything. Spoken word.
True.
Okay, so I did that, and then there's two other things.
Which makes your love for anime really, really puts that in question.
Endearing.
Yeah.
I like the pretty pictures.
I like hearing the noises.
I like the noises they make.
Ooh, goo,
Yamete!
senpai.
It explains why I didn't like the story of Xenoblade, because I played that fucking game
You
in
muted it.
Japanese.
Did you play in Japanese?
No, I played
didn't
it
think
in
you did.
I played it in English, but I turned off the voices and everything but cutscenes.
Yeah. So you have no idea about rest and relaxation, huh?
No.
Yeah, you should.
Oh boy.
I don't know anything about those soldiers screaming for their lives, and I wish
They're like,
I wish
hey,
I did.
remember me, please.
I wish I.
Remember me.
What is happening?
There's a soldier that you kill in Xenoblade, and as like it's just an enemy type that you fight, and when you kill them in English, they shout, "Remember me!" Or no, sorry, they shout, "Don't forget me!"
Yeah,
Oh boy.
it's so good.
And
Constantly.
it's hard to tell if they're like, "Don't forget me because I almost killed you," or if it's like, "Oh shit, I died away from home, my wife and kid.
Right,
Please
that's
tell my story to everyone."
that's absolutely how I want to interpret that.
Totally, same
Like
thing.
we are fucking butchers. We are terrorists. We're bad people. Anyhow, I also played a game called The Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky Second Chapter.
Is this a visual
Paul's-
novel? Because it sure as fuck
No.
sounds like one.
No,
It
no,
really
no. It's part
does.
of, no. It's part of the Legend of Heroes series. It's kind of like Final, it's kind of like Final Fantasy, in the sense that they're not necessarily related to each other, but they have like, so like this is Trails in the Sky is really the name of the game, I guess.
Okay.
And I played the first one a couple years ago on PC, and I enjoyed it. And it's a game that originally came out in like 2004. And then I played the second one on PC. Now is what I'm doing, and it's going pretty well. And I'm enjoying it, and it's just a JRPG. It's got some like Grandia style combat. Is probably what I'd compare it to if you've got a frame of reference.
I've heard of Grandia. I don't know what the combat's like. Please explain.
It's turn-based, fully turn-based. You got the Final Fantasy X style like faces that will tell you who's going to go next, and
Okay.
you also have the ability to like whatever thing you're going to do will influence it. So like if you're going to hit somebody with a delay, like a delay buster or whatever that's going to push their turn back, it'll show you that in the feed of who's going to go next. If you haste yourself, it'll show yourself getting bumped up. So it's that. It's fully turn-based. And the only thing that's different is that you also move around in a like battle area, like on a grid. Like it's there's a grid that comes up every time you're in a fight, and your characters can move so far. Like one of the characters is a little girl who carries a giant gun, and she only has 3 movement, which means she can only move a very short distance.
Yeah.
And then I've got a martial artist, and you can have them wear special shoes to walk farther. The reason that's important is because if you got somebody who uses a sword, they need to be right next to somebody to sword them, which means you have to make sure they have enough movement to get there. Otherwise, you'll spend turns running over to people,
and they walk away.
And then they can walk away. You can spend turns just moving. Like a lot of the damage, a lot of the like attacks or area of effect attacks, or like line attacks or wave attacks, and you can strategically position yourself. So it adds that element. It's not quite like a tactics game because it's not that involved, but that's the Grandia thing. I think Grandia was the same way with the moving around in the 3D space. But no, it's good. The story is really good. Like genuinely interesting characters, genuinely interesting world. Like a very political kind of story.
And where are you playing this? PC?
On PC, yeah. It came out on PC. They just released the last one. 2017 is when they released Final Chapter, which is the 3rd game in the series. I think this game I'm playing now came out in like 2016. And I'm just not getting around to it, but it's good. I enjoy it, and I'm gonna probably continue this on to the last chapter, and then start up Trails of Cold Steel, which is the more modern follow-up to this series that they're releasing 2nd chapter in February. So by the time I get around to it, they'll have all 3 of those chapters out too, which will be good. Finish the fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
boy.
So sorry. That was super boring for anybody who doesn't care about JRPGs, but and also people who do. But then I played
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I played Monster Hunter World in the last few days.
Hey, I'm playing that game.
Oh my god, that game! I've never played a Monster Hunter game, and you can tell.
I don't know.
But
You're good with all the guns and stuff.
I've been switching a lot. I can't decide. I'm indecisive.
So to give a brief overview of Monster Hunter World, the newest release from Capcom, the ever popular Japanese series Monster Hunter, it's finally back on consoles. The series started on PS2 and then went to handheld for a long time. Finally back on consoles. It is I don't want to say open world because it's not, but they're kind of leaning more that way. And it's got a lot of quality of life improvements. Just a lot of weird little shit from the older versions of these games that has been done away with, or the edges kind of rounded a bit so they're not as sharp.
It's crazy how much is still fucked up about this game.
Totally, but
they've fixed so much.
They
stuff.
fixed so much.
I've heard about the shit that they did on the other version, like in the like Monster Hunter Tri and stuff. And I'm like, why would you think that's a good idea?
Right. So.
And why did so many people like it so much?
Right. There has to be something that so many people would like this stuff. So to give an example, your weapons have sharpness. The sharper your weapons are, the less likely your attacks will bounce off, and you'll do more damage. As you use the weapon, sharpness decreases, and you have to use an item in the middle of combat to resharpen it. Okay, great. In previous Monster Hunter games, that item was consumable.
One-time use.
You used it once, and it was gone. And I hope you brought enough. Now it's infinite use, because who cares about farming whetstones?
I mean, that's still kind of a bullshit mechanic in my opinion. But at least they did that.
I don't mind it.
The mechanic,
like it,
right?
It adds
totally.
stress to the game.
It adds to the fight, right? Because it's like I have to find a place or a time where I will be safe enough to get this cast off, this animation complete, and that's what's interesting about the mechanic. Like, it's not interesting to be like, oh, I didn't bring enough, I'm fucked. It's interesting to be like, totally. It's like,
I should reiterate. I just don't think that sounds fun,
and that's totally fair. It's like a lot of this game, kind of.
Yeah, like it's not going to be for everybody. Still, like they didn't make the game into a different game. They just got rid of some of the shit that was especially stupid,
especially heinous.
Yeah, like the zones. The fact that in the previous game, they added the flies, right?
So
scout flies.
So scout flies are a new mechanic for this game. Essentially, the way you would track monsters in the previous game, you would run around the map, which was broken into 18 separate zones that all had loads between each other because they were on 3DS or Vita or PSP.
Yeah, I mean, it was
you couldn't load the whole map at once. You would just run around until you found it, and then once you found it, you would fight it until it ran away, like it does now, except the only way you could then continue to track it was to physically follow it through the zones. So if it got ahead of you, you were fucked. Or if it used a like secret or like a monster only shortcut, you were fucked unless you knew where that went, and then you had to run all the way around. Or you used another consumable item called the paintball to tag it, which made it show up on the zone map for a little bit, and that would eventually wear off. Now you have scout flies, which is this mechanic that's like, as long as you're not in combat with something, this will show you the path, sort of GTA like a GPS style or something, of walk this way to get to your objective. And you can mark monsters that you've discovered on the map. You can mark teammates that are there with you, so you can find the quickest way to get there. You can mark gathering points.
It's 2018, and we're jizzing over the fact that they added objective markers to their game.
Totally. But it makes the game
that's so ridiculous.
That much more approachable, so you can get past the bullshit.
I can't
and get to the part
imagine
that's fun.
playing it without that.
Right.
Trying to figure out what's where the gathering objects are and shit. Like the fact that you can tag that stuff is so nice. The no loads is so nice. The tracking the monster on the map. Once you found it, and you can track it. Mike didn't mention the fact that a lot of these monsters fly.
Yeah.
So in the old game, if you didn't tag it with the paintball in time, I imagine it would fly away, and then there
It would
was
just fly away, and you're like,
zero chance of you falling.
right. It's like, well, this zone, I guess you could get up to here if you could fly. So I guess I've got to run all the way through zone 7, 8, 9, and 10 to get to 11. And oh, it's not here. Is it in 12? No. All right, let's jump down and go the other way. Maybe it went over there. And it's entirely possible that it flew up to those zones and then just left again, because the monsters continue to run when they're hurt, because they're like, I need to go find health. I need to go find backup. Like,
I feel like the development team did a really good job of like keeping the shit that makes this game different from like a hack and slash, like like a generic action game, because it still has like the sharpness meter. It still has the fact that, like, for instance, you have to sheath your weapon to use an item. Like if you want to use a health potion, you can't just pull out your health potion while you're holding a lance and a shield, because you couldn't actually do that. You'd have to put that stuff down to reach down and pick up the health potion. But again, that's a whole motion you have to go through in the middle of a fight. Like, you just took a bunch of damage. Shit. Like, you have to sheath your weapon, pull out your health potion, drink your health potion.
Which is an animation and takes time to fill all the way up.
Right. And then re-pull out your weapon. And I guess in the old game you were rooted when you were healing.
Right, you couldn't even move. So, or like in this game, you can move, you can dodge out of the way.
You can cancel. You can cancel out of it, which is huge. Because then if you like, it basically just it makes it more accessible for someone who doesn't want to have to like. I want to succeed at this game without having to study this monster's every fucking movement. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to run into a monster and always die the first few times I fight it until I learn it. And I could see where like somebody who's really into this might not like that, but it doesn't seem to be the case with, like, most of what I've heard online from people is that the veterans are also enjoying this game.
That's what I've been curious about, because I've only really heard from like one or two people that are Monster Hunter fans.
We played with an expert the other night, and he seems
real confused by some of the changes.
Let's not talk about that. But no, like I've only heard from a couple people that are Monster Hunter fans, quote unquote, and they seem, at least okay with the game.
I've heard a couple.
If not, they like it a lot.
Right. I've heard some on podcasts say this is the best Monster Hunter ever.
Really?
Totally. Yeah. Like I've seen similar sentiment.
Yeah, guys that are like big Monster Hunter guys are like, yeah, it does that, but the thing I love about Monster Hunter is like it's still got whatever it is that gets them.
I mean, is that the general opinion online?
From what I've seen, yeah. I don't
amazingly.
Like, I haven't seen anyone that's like, oh, this series was good before they opened it up to all these fucking casuals.
I mean, that's what usually happens.
That's totally right. Like, if this happened with the Dark Souls series, where Dark Souls 3 comes out, and they're like, oh, we made all these changes to make the game more accessible and more like open to new players, I would 100% expect to see people go like, oh, they made this fucking game for babies now. Fuck this. I'm gonna go play a real game. But
I mean, that's how I feel about modern MMOs.
Totally, but like I've seen none of that.
I think they thread the needle on it. Like, I think that they kept enough of the shit. Like you said, the whetstone thing. Like, you're like, that sounds bad, and it's like, yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. Like, I like that I get my shit jacked in if I try to fucking sharpen. I've had times, and I feel like, Mike, do you get the feeling the monsters, like, the AI gets cued into when you're doing that shit? Like, have you had that experience? Because I swear to God, I've got my Palico distracting the monster, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sharpen. And then the fucking Pookie turns around and is like, hey, you. And I'm like,
he's like, hey, you're not doing nothing.
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot about this game, but I have heard that they did do some AI tweaking where the monsters do know when certain things are going on, like if someone's low health or
which is bullshit.
So I would guess they would know when you're whetstoning too.
Yeah, you can't see the monster's health like that. We've kind of glossed over the basic Monster Hunter stuff, but like you can't see the monster's health at all. And they kept that, but then they added damage numbers, so that way at least you know whether you're just totally sucking dick or if you're succeeding in your fight.
Right, you have an idea of like, oh, I'm hitting somewhere where I'm getting no damage at all. I should try to hit somewhere else.
Yeah,
but they have tells.
That's another thing. Like, this game has essentially Wikipedia for the monsters, where it's like, hey, if you break off the tail, you'll get these parts. If you break this item on the monster, this part might drop. None of that was in the previous games. Those mechanics were,
right.
The mechanics were, but you had to go online or buy a strategy guide to find out.
Oh wait, they actually tell you in the game.
They tell you in game once you level up. There's a thing where you're like, oh, you fought this guy a couple times and you found some trails of his and stuff. So you've done some research into it. So now we'll tell you, hey, break the tail and you'll get spines and scales and a tail part, as opposed to, hey, just go online and be like, how do I get this part to do the crafting? Because also in this older version of Monster Hunter, they don't tell me what equipment or what things I need. Like, they don't even tell me what parts I need to upgrade my weapons anymore. I just know that I need some stuff. Huh? But it's like, oh, now that's all just in the game.
Which is great.
Yeah,
Like, because it's to me, like, obscuring that behind a level of Reddit or behind a level
that's just
of
quality of life
GameFAQs.
stuff.
Yeah, like, that's the name of this game. Like, it seems like it's just Monster Hunter quality of life.
It sounds like there's a little more than that, but
I mean, I think it's finally letting people who think, like, I've thought this sounded cool forever, but I've heard all this shit about it that I'm like, no, that would be a deal breaker.
That would be bad,
right?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. That's too bad. Like, the premise of the game always appealed to me, but I was like, no, I can't do that. So when this one got announced and everyone was talking about it, I was like, well, this might be it. And I really think this might be it. Like, this game is getting a lot of buzz. Like, I could see this being a big deal. And honestly, some of the shit that they didn't put in this game, because it's almost like the first year of a Madden game on console, or like a new console. Like, they don't have, they added a, one of the other games, I don't know which one it is, but they added a, like, style, like, a mechanic to all the weapons. There's 14 weapons in the game, and each weapon controls really, like, for the most part, all the weapons control very uniquely. They have unique mechanics, and they play very different. And I've played around with a few of them, and playing as a gunner versus playing as a hammer versus playing as a lance are all very different experiences, different strategies, different places you want to position yourself, different combos, different button presses. Like, it's a very different game. Well, in one of the old games, they had styles where each weapon had 3 different styles.
Oh, geez.
And you choose between the 3 styles as well, which effectively gives you 3 times as many combat options.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sounds like, to me right now, that sounds like that'd be fucking overwhelming. But I could see in a sequel to this where it's just the same game but extra monsters, and they could add in this style thing, and I'd be like, I'm on board to play this again, because you're still repeating, like, you're repeating everything anyways. So the idea of adding like 3 times as many weapon types sounds crazy awesome.
Yeah, because the core
but
loop
not right
is
now.
still...
I don't need it right now. Like, there's a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of room to grow this on consoles. Is what I'm trying to say. They didn't like shoot their full load right here. Like, they made it in such a way that they still have a lot of room to improve on it still, and I'm still enjoying it.
We kind of talked about this with Persona a little bit, where like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to put out a Persona 5 Crimson or whatever, where they do the re-release with a little bit of extra content. I 100% expect that we're going to get Monster Hunter World Ultimate or Monster Hunter World Complete or something, which is like, 100%. Here's all the extra hunts we put out. Here's a couple new gameplay tweaks to the way stuff exists. Like, I don't think we'd see a new weapon, but like, I could totally see, like, here's some tweaks to all the existing weapons, do with one of these 3 styles or something.
Yeah, that 100%. And I think they said they're going to have new monsters added for free to this game. Like, it's free content updates. So they're planning to support it.
So this is like the first major Monster Hunter title on an actual console in a long time.
In a long time,
ever?
Yeah, like in a decade, over a decade.
Yeah, a long time. Like, how well is it doing in Japan?
From what I've seen, well, like, I have not seen any negative talk about the game, aside from the fact people who are like, this is still not for me. Like you said, like, there are 100% gonna be people out there that are like, I played it and I still don't like the fact that all you're doing, like, the story is really thin, and like, all you're doing is hunting the same basic monsters, and they throw different like set dressings to make you feel like you're doing it slightly differently. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this time, and I've got special conditions, but you're still just hunting that same monster.
Right.
Well, I was speaking in terms of, like, console sales aren't what they used to be in Japan. Everyone has like, fucking mobile shit. Because they're always wanting to play on the go.
I think it's a system seller in Japan, probably.
I mean, maybe that was what I was curious about.
Big enough that they pushed Dragon Ball Z's release date in Japan specifically to avoid it.
I mean, so I listen to the A4 Play podcast too, which is it's a giant bomb. It's a not giant bomb podcast, but
it is in their network though.
It's in their network, right? And it's A4 is a company that does localization for games, and they're based in Japan, and they're Americans that are like mostly Americans that are based in Japan doing localization for companies. Like they did some Fire Emblems, they did work on a lot of Monster Hunter games. Anyways, they have a podcast where they talk about games in Japan, and they were talking about Monster Hunter, and they were saying that you couldn't go outside without seeing a billboard or a poster or something. Like they're advertising the fuck out of this. They said
that game is huge over there.
Well, even more than Dragon Quest. Like Dragon Quest is like the biggest game in the world in Japan. It and Monster Hunter are like tied for biggest game ever. And they said
I don't know, Dragon Quest probably takes it still.
Well, Monster Hunter has more, according to them, anecdotally, they're seeing more ads, more Subway shit. Like this game is being advertised to like fuck so much. Like, and they make it, and according to them, it sounds like people are picking it up and buying. Like, I guess it's kind of hard to say because we don't have sales data because the game's only been out for
a day or two, right?
Well, I'd be curious to see console sales from
I think at this point
well.
the PS4's been out for 4 years. I mean, I'm sure there's enough consoles in the wild in Japan to sell.
I'm sure there's enough for it to sell well. I'm just kind of curious if it's pushing consoles because so many people
see if they have a huge
buying because they're not buying consoles anymore. They just
I'll have
play
to
on
check
their
the news in
phones.
February to see if they have any like stats on that as far as how many PS4s are sold in Japan. I'm sure if it's a lot, it'll be in the news.
Oh, I'm sure.
Guarantee
it. Totally.
Yeah, I'm really curious about how that's going to work out because when that got announced that it was PS4 period, or is it PS4 exclusive?
No, it's also an Xbox and it's coming to PC in autumn this year.
Right. Oh, that's right. I was very curious how it was going to do in Japan because of that, because it's been a PSP / did they have any on Vita?
No, it went to 3DS.
Yeah, it was 3DS, Vita, Wii U, and Wii.
Yeah.
Do you, Mike? What do you not like about the game? Like, what have you run into?
What do I not like so far? So previous squads. Previous Monster Hunter games had a separate single player and multiplayer campaign. They were pretty much identical, but it meant that if you wanted to do your progress didn't carry over between the two. So if you played alone, you had to repeat stuff on the multiplayer side and vice versa.
Which is not great.
Which isn't great. It's a problem. And so they did their best to get rid of that problem by merging these two into one kind of cohesive story, where instead of it being a separate single player multiplayer thing, you can connect to a lobby and you're always working on the same quest list. The problem is, for whatever reason, Capcom seems to still want you to engage in the single, like this idea of, I'm a single hunter out in the woods or whatever.
They put you in all the in-game. They're not even in-game. Are they in-game cinematics? The game's really pretty.
I think they
are.
Yeah.
But it still looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so the idea is like, we still want you to have the single player content or engagement. So what we're going to do is instead make it so that if there's any story, any cutscenes or anything, you have to do this alone. Or everyone has to have seen the thing once before you can go. Which means that if you're working through the story the first time and there's a cutscene, say, in the middle of this mission, no one can join you until after they've done the cutscene, like done the mission by themselves and seen that cutscene, and then can join you.
Which can be pretty deep into a mission, like.
Totally. Like you can go for like 5-10 minutes before you see this thing and finally are allowed to play with your friends again. And it's a very poorly explained system. Like Squad. They don't mention this stuff. They'll tell you stuff like, the host hasn't seen all the cutscenes yet, so you can't continue, or you haven't gotten this far in the story, so you can't continue. And from what I've seen from reviews, you beat the story and then the game like doubles in content, because then it just gives you all the super hard hunts, and then it's no longer an issue. But while you're going through that beginning process, it's like, this mission, for whatever reason, we can just immediately group up and go hunt. This one we can't. They're both story missions. The difference is this one has a small cutscene at the beginning where an NPC you don't give a fuck about tells you about how cool it is that there are big monsters out in the world.
Yeah, and some of them you can't group up at all. Like they're set up as
Right.
expeditions, and you just can't. You literally just can't do it
You
together.
literally
Like,
just can't go out together and just exist in the world unless you do a quest together that exists in the world that then instead of kicking you back to the
so
headquarters gives you
stupid.
the option to stay out in the open world.
That's
but
the
to
only
know-
way you can roll as a posse, just to
Right.
fuck around.
Just to like fuck around and gather and collect stuff. And I'm still not 100% sure how you know if the quest will do that or not.
It
I was
seems
seriously
like really
considering-
poor.
mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
No, it just really
I
poor
was,
implementation.
I was
of-
butting in.
Really poor implementation of multiplayer. Like
Right.
I've never seen a game where, like in Destiny, I'll hand this to him. Like you can have the group leader initiates anything, and whoever's in your fire team goes with you to do that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how it works. And it's like, oh, that's too simple. Like that makes too much sense. And like, why not just have whoever the group leader is be the person who's in the cutscenes? Well, we can't do that. You have to be in the cutscene. Like
It's gotta
it
be
has to be
you.
you.
Everyone
Gotta
has
be
to see
you.
themselves in this to understand this.
I mean,
this
Destiny
story.
does that fine too.
Right.
Like,
There's so many. Like it seems like such an easy solution to a problem that shouldn't even exist.
That shouldn't exist. But I think it's a problem that only exists because that they've never done it this way before, and they just didn't think
It's
about
like
it.
They froze and they were like, "This is the only way to do it."
I don't know how to do it. What if? How do you do multiplayer games? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Don't let them do it. Just don't let them do it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Don't worry. Bob in accounting, he knows how to do this.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Should we listen to any of the Western games, or look at any of our competitors, or see how like the rest of the game industry handles this kind of
we
drop
live in
and drop out
Japan.
multiplayer?
We know how to do it.
Nah,
It's
fuck
fine.
that. I got
It's
this.
just really, really backwards. And I feel like for a game that encourages you to group up with 3 of your
Mhm.
friends to create a monster hunting party and to go out on these hunts together as a team, it's really counterintuitive to make it that difficult to do that in the main story.
Right.
I mean, the solution is like what Mike said. You just everyone should probably just do this on their own, and then when the
Right.
game doubles in
Like-
size, group up and start doing
Group
shit
up.
together.
Yeah,
it'll
like
be
the
really-
solution
it'll be
is to just
simple.
hang out in a Discord chat or whatever. Like, talk with your friends as you're going through. Be like, oh, hey, I think I'm joinable now. Hop in if you can.
Honestly, even then it's bullshit because somebody has to post a quest to the board, and then everyone has to go to the board and join that quest. You can't just have a
Exactly.
group leader initiate a quest and then everyone
Yes.
goes ready.
That is a
sounds so
holdover.
bad.
That's a holdover from.
That's the simple. That's it working as intended. That's how
Monster Hunters always works, right? That's one of those
Ugh.
quality of life things. Hey, now that we're on big consoles and we're doing stuff that kind of appeal more to the Western audience, maybe we can fix this because yeah, that one 100%. That's how Monster Hunter's always done their multiplayer. Even like on Try, because I put a little bit of Try and Try Ultimate. You would go into a lobby with 16 players in the multiplayer world. You would walk up to the bounty board and you'd say, "Hey, I'm going to go hunt this thing. Who wants to come with me?" And you would wait until other people walked up to the board and accepted your quest.
Wow.
And it's the same way here.
Super dumb.
Fuck that.
I will say
Yeah.
though, despite all that, I'm loving this game.
Yeah, no,
Like,
same.
even
It
with
honestly,
yeah.
it makes me, it saddens me that it's like
Right.
that.
Because
I'm like, I
of the
wish
way
it
like
wasn't.
Jimmy's reaction here makes me sad.
I was honestly seriously considering getting this game
can still
because of
get
how
it,
fun
Jimmy.
you guys were having.
Jimmy, you can still do it. You can still do
honestly,
it.
I think if you picked it up, because at this point too, we've already seen the cutscenes
We'll all
for
be
those
able to
earlier
come back
stuff, so we
Yeah.
can all just jump in with you immediately.
Except not
basically.
until he
mostly.
gets to get through his cutscenes.
You get through your cutscene, we jump in, we do the hunting. But
This is another one of those instances where I have no desire to play this game alone. Like, the only reason I would want to play this because it sounds like I would have fun playing with you guys. I've watched some of this game played, and I've tried other Monster Hunter titles in the past. Doing it by myself, no, thank you. I don't enjoy the slow combat.
Oh, you'd like the
Um,
glaive or the dual blades.
So I think you'd like
maybe.
some of the faster.
But I mean, that
weapons,
whetstone thing still does not sound fun.
Some
What if-
weapons need sharpened more than others too, or you play range. You don't have to do that.
I mean,
What
It's
if
true, some
what if I
weapons are
told you
sharper than
there's
others.
what if I told you that I've been hunting monsters with metal bagpipes?
He's
Because
I mean, yeah, that sounds
it's true.
great, but I don't know. There's a I feel like there's enough that I wouldn't like to still deter me from it. I don't know. If it wasn't $60,
maybe on PC.
Maybe the PC release.
By that time, nobody's gonna play it. So
that's not true. I'm thinking about. I might double dip.
I might too.
Okay. I mean, maybe Monster Hunter World 2. Maybe when they fix it a little more. The multiplayer stuff. The problems with that. Hearing you guys dealing with that last night.
Well,
really
that wasn't
all right. In all fairness,
last night was a very special case, and we shouldn't talk about it. But
it's not. Listen. Besides that thing that you're mentioning there, it still sounded like you guys were having issues.
To an extent.
No, I mean, yeah, kind of, but not. They weren't unsolvable, right? Like, I feel like last night, Paul and I understood how the system worked, and Paul and I were like, okay, it's weirdly designed. We have to see a cutscene or something here, so someone will go in first, and then someone will join or whatever.
But how much content do you still have to do by yourself?
Depends on the mission.
It depends on the mission.
It can be a decent amount, like we said. It can be 10 minutes worth. And it can involve combat. Like
the most recent mission that I did had a single player content portion, and it was literally just walk around while the NPCs talk to you about this new zone you're in. And look, so there's a big monster off in the kinda like it's yeah. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed if you're also then collecting all the honey and herbs you see on the ground. And then a big monster shows up, and they go, "Oh my goodness, this is the big monster of this zone. Let's get the hell out of here." And then a smaller one shows up that's still pretty large, and he goes, "You better kill it." And it's like, oh, you can now send up an emergency flare so people can come help you. And you're like, okay, I'm joinable now. Get in my game. But I
don't know.
I look forward to playing this game. I'm not going to lie. I might have been playing a little bit of it earlier in the podcast while recording.
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure you couldn't have told. I'm sure nobody noticed that I wasn't talking for long periods of time.
Mike, one more question for you, Mike. You're playing on a standard PS4, right?
That is correct, sir. I am.
Okay, I am too. Have you had any performance issues that you've noticed so far?
None that I've noticed. I've definitely seen the frame rate increase, like hit way higher rates when I'm in a. But it hasn't been an issue of where like, oh, I just noticed this thing's dropped to like 10 or 15 frames.
I'm not noticing.
I'm noticing it when it goes up, but not when it goes down.
I agree, and it makes me sad because when it goes up and I notice that, I'm like,
you're like,
holy
shit, this could be so good.
This is what it could be like.
This could be like Destiny 2 on PC.
Oh, it looks so good when it does that. Like it's super random, and the fact, first of all, Jimmy, I'm noticing it.
Okay, then I know it's really bad.
Right. Well, no, I'm not. Well, okay, I'm noticing how good it is. Like when it's good, but it like Mike said, it's super like it's not really common, and it has to do with either what's on your screen or like where you're located.
Like where you're at in the zones and stuff.
Yeah, but like randomly, it'll get so silky, beautiful, smooth, and it makes me sad for all the because then it makes you realize that you're playing it at like 30 frames. Mostly.
Right. Hey, if you're on a pro, you can prioritize frame rate over resolution,
which probably makes it look like that all the time.
Hopefully,
well,
I would really hope.
I know. I have to watch.
I've heard it's still kind of a little bad, but it is better.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful game. Like we haven't really said that yet, but I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely a contender for one of the best looking games this year, and it's super early.
January.
That's a little early because I mean there's only really been 2 games that have come out this year.
Looks better than Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, and think about it, like Dragon Ball and this game are both really strong contenders, I think, for the game you most want to kiss when it comes up on your screen.
Head Turner.
I mean, yeah.
Did you say Ted Turner?
Head Turner. No, Head Turner.
Oh, Hedge Turner.
No, like she walked by and you turned your head.
Like that meme.
So what else you been playing?
That meme though.
No, I wasn't. No, not the meme.
What else have I been playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
Jimmy. I stole your line.
Line, please.
Squad.
Paul Squad.
What else have I been playing?
It doesn't have to be my line. You can participate.
Anyone's allowed to transition.
I was trying to toss the ball
right.
over to Michaelis.
Right.
And now that I've dropped the ball because we've been paying too much attention about the past.
Oh, nice caps lock.
I can tell you guys all about this cool game that I played called Slay the Spire.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Slay the Spire? It's a video game.
I know it's a not a card-based system, but a kind of a card-based system game.
So, okay, Slay the Spire is a deck builder video game. If you're unfamiliar with the term deck builder, don't think Hearthstone or Magic, although Hearthstone, I guess, now has a mode like this. Those are in the board game world and card game world called deck constructors or deck construction games. Because in those games, you construct your deck outside of the game, bring it to play, and then play. A deck builder is a game where you are building your deck as you play. So, for example, you start with, say, a deck of 10 cards that are pretty simple and can either purchase from like a marketplace or something, or in Slay the Spire's case, acquire after a combat a card that you add into your deck that you then keep with you for the rest of the game. So the Spire is like a
roguelike where you're getting powers as you go, right?
Totally. Because and it is a roguelike. You keep the cards during the run. After you lose the run, you restart with just that basic deck that you start with, the like 10 cards or whatever they are, and can then go on from there. And I'm sure anyone who like pays attention to video games, if you're listening to this podcast, has probably heard of or seen Slay the Spire. It's kind of blown up in the last couple days, because a bunch of popular streamers have picked it up. Because it's really competently, it's got a really great design to it, because it has that roguelike element that fits really well with a deck builder, where the run's over, reset back to my base level and we'll go again. It's only 3 floors long, so it's very easy to get to the ending of the game and see what the end of it is. A lot of roguelikes have this issue where the runs are just too long, there's too many floors to get through. The cards themselves are nice and have that nice blend between, this could be like an actual functional card game, and this is stuff that would be a pain in the ass to do in card format, like create 3 copies of this thing, or on the next turn do this and this and this, and it's like, all this bookkeeping computers are great at doing. But our friend Dustin, who was a guest on this podcast, recommended this game to me, and I think he knocked it out of the park. This game is really fun. If you like roguelikes, if you like card games, if you've never played a deck builder before, I think you should definitely try one. And this is a great one to try. Especially if you're a fan of roguelikes, because it also introduces these relics that are like items, like another item basically in a roguelike that affect your deck and the playthrough that you're doing and the run you're going through. And it's got random events and combat and bosses, and I think it's a really, really, like, it's weird. Before Dragon Ball and Monster Hunter came out, if I was on my computer and had nothing else to do, I would put a video on one monitor that I would be paying attention to, and I would have Slay the Spire running on the other one, because it's a deck builder.
One of those games.
It's slow, and there's enough pauses that if I need to focus on something else, I can, and come back to it when I have the time to. And having owned the game for maybe a week or two, I've already put almost 40 hours into it. Just because I find myself like, I'll just turn that on and do a quick run or two.
It's your killing time thing, or just I'm bored, let's do something.
Yeah, and the developers have been doing weekly patches. It is still in early access, but they've been updating it weekly, and I really look forward to seeing kind of how that game turns out. But that's not the only thing I've been playing, Jimmy.
Yeah, I've heard you've been playing a lot.
I have been playing a lot. Maybe not enough to talk about a lot of these things, but like you mentioned, we've been playing Borderlands 2.
A couple times.
A couple times.
Really, only a couple hours, really.
Right. I've put a lot of time in that game on console, and I'm looking forward to playing like the last couple bosses I never got to see on PC with you guys.
I only got to play one of the DLC packs.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of
interested.
I'm really curious to get into all that extra stuff once we get to that point. I know it's going to be a while because you actually have to beat the game like 2 times to get high enough level, but
yeah,
regardless.
I'm also playing a little game called Earth Defense Force 4.1: The Shadow of New Despair.
Man, that's a mouthful.
If you want, we can call it EDF 4.1: The Shadow of New Despair, or even EDF 4.1 TSOND.
All right, maybe we could just call it EDF.
Ooh, I don't. That's confusing. Let's go with EDF to Sunded. I think is it. No, so this is a PC port of a PS4 and Xbox One port of a PS3 and Xbox 360 game. EDF4,
Okay.
I believe, was called EDF 2017 here in the States. That when it got ported to PS4 and when it got ported to the next gen consoles, current gen right now, PS4 and Xbox One, was renamed to 4.1 Shouting Despair because it added some updates and some stuff. If you're unfamiliar with Earth Defense Force as a concept, you are Army Man who is fighting the aliens from outer space, which happen to be giant insects. Hordes and hordes and hordes of giant ants.
Starship Troopers?
But totally Starship Troopers, but without even but more campy. Like a campy Starship Troopers. Like even more so. For example, there's a quote from one of your like scientist advisors very early on in the game that says that we had always expected the insects to come back, so we developed the wing divers, who are the flight unit that you can play in the game. And he goes, the wing divers can fly. No giant insect can fly. We have outsmarted the giant insects.
Oh boy.
And then the next mission, you fight giant spiders. And
that can fly.
They can't fly, but they can make big nets, and all the wing divers fly into the webs.
Oh, boy.
And they're like, oh, the giant insects have evolved. And you're like, what? And then at one point...
Oh, wait. Spiders aren't insects, though,
no,
right?
they're not, which is...
Okay.
Hey, it's Japanese. Also, technically, I think they're all aliens, which is the other good thing.
Maybe alien spiders are insects.
Oh, so,
maybe.
Also,
maybe.
when he's talking about the fact that we developed the flight suits, the guy goes, nothing can defeat science.
Okay.
Yeah, and the game has like voice commands like a lot of co-op Japanese games do, where it's like, oh, you might not have a microphone, so hit this and this to say hello or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
one of the things you can shout is a song that is like it's like it's like the EDF deploys. It's like ba 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 ba, but about giant insects and stuff. And one of my favorite touches, because sometimes NPC soldiers will follow you. If you shout the first verse through that system, the NPC soldiers will sing the next.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
It's really good. It's campy. You level cities and get giant weapons. And at one point, there's 4 people can form Voltron and fight giant robots.
Okay.
And
it sounds very silly.
It's a very silly game. And now that it's on console or PC, it runs at above 10 frames per second, which is maybe the best part. Because
15 now?
Oh, it's sometimes
14.
Sometimes. No, those games always have frame rate issues.
The power can only work so much over bad code.
But it works pretty well, and it's definitely one of those games where it's like, hey, I got some time to kill. I'm just gonna fuck around and shoot giant bugs and not think about anything. Or hey, we've got 4 friends on. Let's all just kind of fuck around and just sing about science and the EDF and fly around a bit. But no, that's pretty good. I've also touched Dead Cells and Darkest Dungeon, but I haven't really played those games. They're pretty good from what I've heard. I look forward to trying them.
So I think, they Paul and Dustin talked about Darkest Dungeon a couple months ago.
Yeah, their words are what swayed me into picking it up at this last Steam sale. And I have done all of one run and was like, ooh, this looks like I have to commit a lot of time to understanding this. I will come back to you later. And that's kind of been the end of that. But no, the game I think that I've put maybe a game I've put a lot of time in from over these last 2 months. Surprisingly enough, Google Earth VR.
Oh,
which is not a video game. It's just an interface for Google Earth and a VR headset.
Yeah.
But we did a stream a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple days ago. I don't remember, but
who knows? It was at least a week or 2 ago.
But the entire crux was basically, I asked you guys for addresses and then just flew around as a person-sized thing, looking at where you lived and looking at Tokyo and where you went on vacation and where you worked in Korea. And
yeah, we went to my school in Korea.
And it was this weird but also incredibly awesome like social connection thing to be like, oh yeah, this is where like APOC used to, like our friend APOC used to like hang out when he was in high school. That was where he would hang out, is right here under this tree that's still there. Or oh, this is
at least on the Google image.
On the Google image, yeah. On the Google Earth version, it was a weird dodecahedron or whatever. But no, it was really cool. And there's definitely a sense of scale you only really get, I think, with Google Earth, with that VR interface.
With the VR, yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I'm standing on top of this fucking like skyrise, and looking down can give me a little bit of vertigo or whatever. But
I've heard it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, totally. But aside from that, we also, and I bring this up because it's a game you and me both played, so that I'm not just here monologuing to myself all night. 20XX.
Yeah.
A game I purchased on your recommendation because I know you're a big fan of the Mega Man X.
It was less of a recommendation and more of, hey, buy this game and play it with me.
Fair. I would call that a recommendation, but but no, I know you're a big fan of the Mega Man X games.
I am.
And if you couldn't tell from the name, this is definitely inspired by Mega Man and Mega Man X.
Yes.
And it's a co-op, although you can play it single player, roguelike Mega Man game.
Yeah, which I did not know. Because the video previews I saw of that game did not make it look roguelike at all. I saw it's a guy's passion project. They haven't made Mega Man X games in a while.
No.
And he wanted to make a game like that in a way, but he put a spin on it to make it kind of a roguelike experience where it's not a Mega Man game where you are going through stages of fighting bosses to ultimately fight the big boss after you fight all the bosses one more time. It is you are going through stages to fight bosses, but they're kind of randomized in a way, and you're collecting power-ups that are unique to your run, like a roguelike. And I would say the controls were a little floaty.
Yeah, it definitely had a floaty feel to it compared to...
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do some of that platforming when it's just not as tight as those Mega Man games.
Right.
Some of the combat, too, especially the melee combat, because, I mean, it's already hard enough to play a Mega Man game using a melee fighter.
Right, now you've got one.
And at least when it's super tight, like, once you got it down, like, you could play the shit out of that game with Zero in the later X games. This game, it was a lot harder to play as the melee character just because of how floaty it was. There's also the fact that it doesn't feel like there's enough weapon differences.
Right.
I mean, we did 2 or 3 runs, or 2 to 4 runs, something like that. And when we got a weapon upgrade, it was the same one both times.
Right,
so,
yeah, like all the bosses always seem to drop the same weapon, even that, because it's like, oh, you pick which of these 3 bosses.
Oh yeah, that
fight.
too. Yeah, well, I wasn't specifically mentioning the power weapons. I was like the different main weapons, because you had either your regular Buster or you had the 4-way shot.
That 4-way shot, yeah.
And I had the quote unquote Z Saber, or this little claw thing, which was trash.
I wonder
the power-ups were kind of cool though.
Yeah, there's definitely
the power
armor
weapons,
stuff,
I should say.
or the weapons, yeah.
The armor stuff, that adds kind of a unique spin to it.
Although some of those definitely feel almost mandatory, like that double jump.
Yes, the double jump makes the game a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, adding that or an air dash, like you need one or the other.
I
mean, there's a reason.
Think there is an air dash though.
I don't think there is. I'm speaking specifically as an X style game. Once you get the air dash in the X games, that really makes the game feel a lot better. And in later games, you had it automatically. But Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool little game. I'll probably play it again sometime when we're bored.
Right, because those 3 runs, we made it to the Wily or the Sigma equivalent like once. I'm sure we could eventually beat it. Like, it feels like it's just a matter of time.
Well, didn't we? Well, we made it past all 8 of the bosses, but didn't we die in the level that was after it? We didn't actually make it to the boss.
Well, yeah, we didn't make it to the boss, but I would just call that whole level like a Wily level or a Sigma
Yeah, I'm
level,
curious. I'm curious what happens to the point whether you do the gauntlet run,
yeah,
or it's just a straight up, hey, here's the boss of the game. You did your run.
Or if they do it, where it's like, oh, hey, there's three of these kind of unique levels at near the end, then a boss rush, then the final boss, could be a thing. But yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, I'd like to at least beat it once, if that's all we do.
Mm-hmm. It's weird though, because
it is a cool, and the music's cool.
It's got that Rogue Legacy style system where every run you bring back a currency that gets wiped if you don't spend it, and you have to spend it to unlock either permanent upgrades, like, oh, I start with more health or I start with more energy, or hey, I want this item to be a potential thing that I can find. Like, oh, I want to find something that gives me more health whenever I pick up health, or I want to find something that whenever I shoot at somebody, they might explode, doing damage to people around them, or something like that. And so it's I wonder if there's I wonder with those systems how much, because it's totally possible, especially with Rogue Legacy. It was very possible to upgrade in a very poor way that led you it put you in a tough spot for a while. One of the examples that I can think of off the top of my head is that you researched playable classes in that game, and if you researched a specific class too early, it would slow down the amount of money you could make, because the class took way more damage from basically everything, but I want to say did extra damage or found extra gold or something. But people were like, actually, it turns out this doesn't balance out for how much damage you take. You end up dying way quicker than you would with one of the other characters. And now that you've unlocked it, you can't relock it. So it's entirely possible your next 3 characters you can pick from will have to be one of these. And so I have to wonder if there's a situation where it's like, actually, the item pool is best when you only have this, this, and this in it. Once you start to dilute the pool with all this other useless garbage, it becomes much more harder. So I'm not sure. But I definitely want to go back with it.
I think I would like that game a lot better if there was a system and such where all those upgrades could be permanently purchasable for a high price. I mean, yeah, make it so they take a while to get, but give me a way to buy that, those boots that do the double jump permanently, or the chest piece, or the chest piece of the helmet that let you kill stuff and sometimes rarely get a health point back. Stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of the hard roguelike stuff like that, where you have to actually find it in the run and it's randomized. A little bit of it's okay, and I think my limit is probably the way it was handled in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Once it gets past that, I kind of don't like how that stuff is, just from a personal standpoint. I have no grief with those games existing, but just not my thing per se. But it's nice to have that game. But speaking of which, of the Mega Man X games, we haven't podcasted in a couple months. It was announced that all of the Mega Man X games are going to be ported to current gen consoles and PC.
Oh boy, I can't wait until they fuck that up somehow.
God, please don't say that.
You know they will. They're gonna have you won't be able to rebind the controls, and they'll have jump on R2 and shoot on D-pad.
No, don't even.
And they're gonna run at 15 frames per second because the emulator is gonna be poor, and they won't get music licenses back, despite the fact that they own all of it. So you'll have to listen to new music that they've made.
Please don't.
And then Mega Man X2 specifically will have this problem where whenever Zero should be on screen, it'll have a big black box.
Well, X2 Zero doesn't show up till the end of the game.
Exactly, it's gonna be a big black box. and it's just gonna say "file not found" on it, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?" And then the end is gonna reveal that it's because they couldn't find a good ROM dump on the internet.
Because one of the main story beats in 2 is rebuilding Zero. Because he sacrifices himself in the first game.
Oh, dude, spoilers.
I know, right?
I've never even played a Mega Man before. How am I gonna? His name's Zero, but he's also a hero. Wow. Wow. This is
best character. Best game
mm.
character ever made.
Are you talking about the one from Battle Tetris Gaiden?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's exciting. They should add online co-op to that and just be weird.
That would be really weird.
Actually, what if
I was really hoping
they
would get the.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they could. I was really hoping it would get the treatment that the Mega Man remaster games have gotten.
Oh, where they put all the here's all the pictures that we designed while documenting and stuff.
Well, I mean, there was that, and they were really good. Because they had all for the Mega Man games, they put the slowdown in where the slowdown was for the NES games, and they'd put a lot of care into making sure it was the exact same experience, but just higher res. Doesn't sound like that these games are going to get that. But, I mean, we'll see. They haven't talked about it since they made the announcement. So, the only thing that was said was that all 8 of the X games were going to be ported. So, they didn't say anything about, I think it's called Command Mission, the JRPG Mega Man X game.
So they should bring over Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where Zero is a playable character.
He is. He's also in Infinite.
Ooh, don't bring that one though.
Okay.
Only bring the good ones.
I'm bad at all of them, so it doesn't matter.
That's fine.
What else? Is there any other games you wanted to talk about?
No, that's pretty much all I've been playing. What about you?
Destiny 2. Still quite a bit. Did the event stuff. I mean, when the events are going, that's when I really start playing again. Like they did the faction rally stuff last week.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not that stuff, I kind of just, if I'm bored, I'll play Destiny that night and try to get some upgrades. But I did play some Xenoblade between 2 podcasts ago. I'm like 20 hours in, I think. I played it mostly when I was visiting you guys in Ohio.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked what I played so far quite a bit. I just, after my 200-hour Persona run, I haven't really wanted to play much at all, really, and that's why Destiny kind of fits that purpose, because I can just play it. And, like, if I'm not on Discord with you guys, I'll be watching a video and playing it. If I'm on Discord with you guys, I'm just on Discord with you guys and playing Destiny.
It's Destiny all day. If you're podcasting Destiny.
That's not true. I mean, I'll talk about Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it was robbed.
Destiny.
It was robbed.
You're playing Destiny right now?
Whoa.
I wish.
No, you don't.
Not true.
No one else play this.
Play Dragon Ball FighterZ. We already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And 20XX. That's really all I've played since then, I think.
Wow.
I can't think of anything.
No Magikarp Jump?
No, which, man, I saw that on my phone the other day and I was thinking, man, I should have brought that up during the podcast, the Goaty podcast. Because that game is really good.
Best mobile game?
Definitely best mobile game. 100%. Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
We played Sea of Thieves.
Oh, yeah, we did. I'm sorry. I thought this was a video game podcast, though, not a fucking...
not Boat Simulator?
Not a fucking... What would life be like if I did nothing for 40 minutes?
Wow.
Mike's a big fan.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everybody, hey, if you get in to see if these babe, make sure you play it. Oh, get the boat with all the stuff on it. You'll know the one.
No, get the chest that cries that fucking sinks your
ship. Yeah.
That's so good.
Sea of Thieves is a video game.
So annoying, but awesome.
Maybe. Sea of Thieves might be a video game. I don't know. But play the beta. Don't spend money on it.
I had a really good time playing that the other night.
You played it for 5 minutes.
That's not true.
How long was it?
I don't know. We played it for at least an hour.
That doesn't sound right to me.
That sounds right.
Paul, you were there.
It was about an hour, I
Kinda.
would say.
Oh, fuck you.
It was definitely an hour at least.
Yeah, but how much of that was spent? Okay, speaking of bullshit multiplayer systems, Monster Hunters, I think, has nothing compared to, all right, sign into the Xbox app on Windows, now sign into Sea of Thieves on Windows, now launch the Xbox app again, and then, oh, wait, hold on, you didn't invite me. Give me an, okay, I'm not seeing it here, but you're joinable.
That's not Sea of Thieves' fault. That's.
I mean...
What's the difference?
I blame Rare, who owns Microsoft.
Ooh.
They wish. No, that's the fucking Windows 10 Xbox bullshit.
Right, and if Rare didn't exist, it wouldn't be a problem.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not an issue. It is a problem, but and I'm not saying that you can't knock the game for it. But in terms of the actual game itself, I don't think that really matters. I had a good time once we got into it, which didn't really take that long. I had a good time, and I think it'd be fun with 4 people on a bigger boat.
I think that I could be wrong. So after we played, I rewatched the 2 videos that Rare put out about here's what we're planning for progression in this video game.
Mm-hmm.
One faction that has not appeared in either technical alpha nor beta, not that I'm aware of anything in the technical alpha, because I signed an NDA, I didn't play it. I don't know. Fuck, I did. Whatever. I'm pretty sure they've said as much. That one of the factions just hasn't been in the alphas yet, and it's the merchants one, where you go to islands, find animals, put them in cages, bring them on your ship, bring them to other islands, keep them alive. That seems like an interesting gameplay mechanic that will probably get run to the ground.
Alive?
It's stuff like don't let things hit them or the ship. If water starts to raise up, they'll drown like your skunks.
Like,
I think you have to give them food too if you stay out at sea for too long.
Okay.
As opposed to the treasure hunters who are currently in the beta, and I believe they've shown footage of the bounty hunters, who basically operate the same way. You go to an island, go to the spot you're told to go to, and then either kill a skeleton or dig up a treasure. And then you just repeat that until you die, like in real life, because that's kind of all that's there. And they've said they're holding stuff back for surprises, and they say that they can do seasonal events and they can tweak some stuff. But I don't know.
I mean, it sounds very much like the early Destiny 2 problem, where there just wasn't.
It sounds like an early Destiny problem where, hey, they'll get there eventually, but as of right now, we don't got enough in here. And Destiny, to me, at least, had the appeal that I liked playing that game. It has the bullshit. I liked playing
bullshit
that game.
gameplay you can do by yourself,
right?
Or with friends.
There was enough gameplay loop there. Like I had fun doing the repeatable stuff with Destiny. I got real tired of Sea of Thieves after like the second time I played in that technical alpha. And so I told you before that other night, I was like, hey, if you wanted me to get Dissidia or Sea of Thieves, pick one. And you were like, Sea of Thieves. I'm like, all right, fine. Because you're right. I think with 4 of us on a ship, we will get enjoyment of like, oh, hey, Paul's here. Get enough enjoyment. We left Paul on the island again. Haha.
Right.
Hey, Paul, you're on the island again.
I'm having second thoughts about playing Sea of Thieves with you bastards.
It's like, oh, hey, Paul, go look over here. Haha, we left Paul in the ocean again.
Paul, I dropped the chest in the ocean. Can you go get it? I can't find it. Oh, wait, where'd the boat go?
Haha, Paul, haha, got you.
I don't like this at all.
Hey, Paul, look at my map. Look at it. Look. Oh, you're trying to do something? Look at my map.
Game of the year 2018.
So yeah, there's definitely stuff there. But like Destiny, I had fun playing alone, and Sea of Thieves, I feel like I'd only have fun playing with friends because I feel like I would enjoy hanging out with my friends.
Right.
But I don't know. Hey,
it very much feels like that kind of game.
I'm like 90% positive they announced an open beta for that at some point. So if you were in the technical alpha, you're in this closed beta. If you pre-order it, you get in the closed beta, and eventually they'll be open. So go play, enjoy, see if you like it or not. But know that you'll be spending a lot of time out at sea. Heh. Oh wait, hold on, Jimmy, cut that. Future Jimmy, cut that and come back in when I clap. Okay.
Hold on.
No, hold on. Okay.
I need to make a timestamp.
Okay. Well, it's 1:53 a.m. Eastern Pacifics.
I know it's 2.5 hours into the podcast.
Okay, and then do a clap like here. I would say Sea of Thieves gets a solid C- from me.
Oh boy.
Can you go back and edit that out?
Paul, you can't censor me, man.
I mean, or I could just leave it all in.
I thought you were just going to leave it all in. That's why I was trying to stop you from like actually writing down timestamps and stuff.
I wrote down the timestamp just to add to it, but yeah,
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna leave it in.
Thank you. Speaking of leaving it in,
Oh boy.
I heard that if you buy a GPU at Micro Center and leave it in to play video games and not cryptocurrency, you can get it for the actual price and not $1,000. Is that true?
Only if you buy pretty much a whole computer.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Fooled you.
Yeah. So yeah, Micro Center has this new thing. I guess they're responding to Nvidia's cry to please help gamers buy video cards at not ridiculous prices because of the cryptocurrency.
Please stop
bullshit.
charging everyone $1,000 because Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody can make computers right now. We live in an age where it's cheaper to buy a pre-built computer
than to build your own, which is insanity.
than to build your own, because they still have deals on the video cards.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Like, man. Yeah, no, Nvidia has made the announcement that they want to figure out ways to let gamers still buy video cards at what the cards should be sold for, or at least a little cheaper than they're going for right now, which is outrageous because you can't buy them anywhere because they instantly sell out to crypto miners. Yeah, it's been a real problem for the past, I want to say year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half or so. Well, because for the longest time, people thought that only the 1080s and the higher end cards.
Well,
were
it wasn't
really
the
good.
1080s. It was the 1060s and 1070s.
Well, no, before the 1070s picked up, because there was a time where it was, for a brief period of time, people really liked, I want to say, some of the old 900 cards. And then there was a brief bit where, no, people really like the 1080s, like the high-end current line.
I don't think it was the 1080s.
I could have sworn it was, because there was definitely a period where Seth was able to get in real cheap before the boom.
It was the 1080s were the ones that you could buy. They were not the ones that the crypto miners were buying. Originally, it was the 1070 was like when that thing hit, and people figured out that that card, that was the card after the 900s. The 1070 they found out was mining crypto like nobody's business, and that thing sold out everywhere. Every single version of it was gone. You could basically, it was right after I got mine, and shortly after that, Seth was going to try and get a new video card. You could not buy a 1070, and if you could find one, it was marked up about $400 or $500.
Yeah, I went with a 1060 until prices stabilized.
Right. And then after the 1070 sold out, they found that the 1060 was still better than the 1080 at mining cryptocurrency. So then the 1060 sold out, and the price for a 1060 was more than a 1080. So anyone building a new computer, I was telling them, just fucking buy a 1080 because there's no point. Because I think it was, who was it? I was helping a family member get a new video card, and I was looking at some of the local places around here, and all the 960s they had in stock were, I want to say, $50 to $100 more than all the 1080s they had in stock, because the 1080s at that point were still running MSRP. Oh,
gong.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 1080s were still MSRP. It wasn't until like a few months ago that the 1080s started taking a hit because they couldn't buy 1060s and 1070s anymore. So they're like, oh, fuck it, I'll get the 1080. So now you can't get anything but a 1050, and even the 1050s are running a little high. Not high like the others are. They're only running a little high because they're hard to buy, because it's the only cards people can buy right now that aren't outrageously expensive. It's just stock is low, so the prices are up a little bit.
It's kind of
no.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a real problem for the PC gaming community because we're kind of stuck with what we have unless you want to spend a lot of money. So only people like Paul can actually upgrade their computer.
Which he's done twice now since the cryptocurrency
Which
boom.
he's done twice, yeah.
Fever.
But no, Micro Center has this deal. They've kind of responded to it to help people out. It only helps people building a new computer, pretty much. But it's a start, I guess.
It's a step.
It's something.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. I mean, there are plenty of people that I've tried to help build a new computer that this would have helped. It just kind of sucks that Micro Center isn't nationwide.
No, I've never even heard of one.
You can still order online from them though. You might be able to call them through customer service and get this deal. I'm not sure if you can get it online or not. But in store, if you buy, I think it's a video card, CPU, power supply, and maybe RAM. So pretty much the whole computer, except maybe a hard drive and stuff. They will let you buy the video card at MSRP.
Right. They just want pretty much proof that you're doing it for a gaming PC.
I have the list here. Hold on. I'll give you. Let's see. Here it is. You purchase the graphics card along with several other core components, the CPU, motherboard, RAM, and power supply. Okay, so I was exactly right. You buy all those things, they'll let you buy the video card at what it's supposed to be sold at. If they have it in stock, that is. I mean,
right.
That's the other problem.
If people haven't already just bought them all.
Right. Because the crypto miners are still buying them at that price. It's I don't know. Nvidia has said that they're working on a card specifically for crypto mining.
Right, but unless it blows the other one out of the water, because yeah, unless this crypto card blows the performance of the gaming cards completely out of the water, that it's not even worth.
They're just going to buy all those.
They're just going to buy the gaming cards
all the
again.
other ones. Yeah.
Especially they'd have to deliberately somehow tank crypto mining performance on gaming cards,
which I don't think they can do
without also tanking the gaming cards performance on games.
Because I'm pretty sure what makes them so good is the type of
the math
calculations they're doing for generating
shaders and
shaders and stuff like that. Yeah.
So we just need Trump to outlaw Bitcoin, and we'll be good.
I have friends with cryptocurrency, so I'm not going to say I want it to tank, but
if it does tank, the world might be a better place. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It sucks. It's a weird situation.
Jimmy, all this bad news makes me mad. Tell me something happy that's happened in the last 2 months.
Oh, Paragon is closing.
Oh, finally. Just what I've always wanted.
April 26th, Paragon is closing its doors.
6 days off.
The light at the end of the tunnel is the fact that if you bought it, Epic is giving you a full refund.
Because you were one of 7 people.
Were any of us the 7?
I have played Paragon, but I did not put any money into it because it was a bad game.
I will say, if you are one of those people who bought Paragon and you want your refund, you need to talk to Epic and not the people you bought the game from.
Right.
All refunds are coming through Epic themselves.
Also, if you're one of those people, hello.
Who are you?
I didn't know you existed.
I'm sorry.
Please email us your story about how you ended up spending money on Paragon of all things.
And
I'd love to hear
did you actually enjoy it?
Right. Are you one of the people who somehow bought the physical copy of this early access MOBA? Because if so, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Different news, maybe some better news, depending on whether you like old franchises.
Yeah.
Playground Games, makers of Forza Horizon, are probably working on a new title in the Fable franchise.
Oh, I hope you can
This
fart and be
excited
called
me.
Chicken Chaser.
I think you should check that excitement, Seth.
I mean, I really liked Fable.
Because think about Fable But think about Fable in terms of
Kart racer.
how games are today.
Well,
Is
and they
Fable
said it's
really that good of a game?
they said it's going to be a complete reboot because they couldn't even get all the licenses from Fable because they belong to Lionhead Games. So
right.
it's
Is Lionhead not owned by Microsoft anymore?
Lionhead doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's right.
They tanked like what?
Well, they don't
3-4 years
exist, and
ago?
there's no patents. So
No, somebody somewhere holds it.
Peter.
Yeah.
I would
owns it.
assume.
Yeah.
I would assume that Microsoft would still.
In the thing I read, it said that they don't have all the licenses to the Fable franchise that they're having to.
Then why don't they just make a game like Fable? Why would they? Why do they say
they can?
this?
That's what they're doing. I think. I mean, they're just using they have the Fable IP.
They're just using the name to tell you similar what it's going to be like, I guess. But
Fable 3 was so disappointing.
It was.
I still think the first one's the best one.
Yeah.
The combat in that game was a lot of fun.
Was the first one the game where Molyneux was said that you could plant a tree and watch it age with you?
I don't remember that.
I
don't know. I mean,
that's Molyneux quote.
That is a Molyneux as fuck thing to say.
Do we have a story where we just make up Molyneux quote?
Your dog.
We should have a Molyneux cast where we just talk about different things Peter Molyneux said. Oh my god!
Depending on what you eat for breakfast, you may or may not have a bowel movement in the evening.
Have you ever had a dog? Well, our dog is just like your dog.
It'll understand. It'll understand you.
You can teach your dog tricks like fetch and sit. Sit's my favorite because it keeps the dog out of combat.
What was the name of that boy? What was that name of that boy?
Milo.
Is your name Milo?
That's what it was.
Oh, hello, Peter. Are you my new dad?
Papa.
Papa, why do the people laugh at my Connect? Papa, why won't they play with me? Papa, I can't see you anymore.
Shit.
Are you here?
It's
Please,
so dark.
wave in front of the camera.
Oh my god.
The Kinect adapter got disconnected.
It's so dark. Oh, I'm sorry, Milo. The TV went into power save mode.
Can you imagine a world where all that like Kinect-based DRM that Microsoft were getting patents for was real, but was authored exclusively and enforced exclusively by Milo? Or it's like you're trying to watch Netflix and there's too many people in the room and Milo just pops up and goes, "Ah, come on now, guys. You know you only pay for the one viewer per room plan."
And then that one piece of code that Peter Molyneux plugged in activates, and Milo just starts killing everyone. We're like, "Oh yeah, laugh at my ideas now, bitches."
Right? He's just like, he starts killing and farting and going, "I love me some chickens, governor. I do. Oi, oi! I'm the god guy, governor. And then he just kind of murders you, and you're like, "This is a weird episode of Black Mirror."
How did this work? Why are things shooting out of the Kinect? What's happening?
Normal episode of Black Mirror. It's probably a good episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's the best episode of Black Mirror is the one where Peter Molyneux's Milo comes to life after being a DRM cop for Netflix and starts killing half of England.
It sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Right.
Oh man.
When I said I wanted digital life, I didn't mean digital death.
Oh no. Nintendo.
They're what's for dinner.
Mm-hmm. They're using
Go on. What are they using?
I was gonna steal your joke.
Please. Please.
They found a new way to use those Wii U boxes. By selling them to you for $70 a piece.
I don't know if that's as funny as you think that joke is.
You want to be a robot?
Buy $80. You can put on this cardboard suit. You too.
You can be your child can be the Wii U bot too.
Oh, they're broken.
Nintendo announced Nintendo Labo.
A process where you give them $80 and you get to put cardboard on and pretend you're a robot.
Yep. Besides the obvious jokes, I think it looks kind of cool.
Future video games.
They showed off making a little tiny piano with it that interacted with the Switch. And there's a robot thing that goes over your whole body if you are, less than 4 feet tall.
Right, if you're a child.
I don't know. It looks very interesting. It's Nintendo as fuck.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That is 100% true. If you were like, "Oh, Nintendo's finally got this console and video game business figured out,"
if you thought they were really taking a turn for the better, hold my beer as
Reggie comes up and says, "Wear this cardboard. Pretend you're a piano."
Reggie would say. Yeah.
I like to imagine Reggie's reaction to these things. Because that's Japan making that decision.
Well, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
There's Reggie like, what the fuck?
Like, seriously, I have to get on this fucking video again and explain why this is the most innovative thing we've ever done. Like,
I can't pull cardboard out of my pocket.
The landscape of video games as we know it.
I mean, I might buy it.
Of course.
I'm not the robot one, but...
Oh, come on.
One of our most common complaints from customers is that there's no way for them to be a piano. We've teamed up with Peter Molyneux to introduce Nintendo Labo.
God.
The keys grow as you do in your cardboard box suit.
Right.
No,
the piano one looks super cool. That's the one I'm interested in. I don't know. We'll see. Have they only announced the 2 packages?
Piano and robot, and it's $10 more for robot.
Right.
Robot looks
complicated. Was it 60 and 70, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the robot does look complicated. I mean, the stuff looks fun to put together. That's part of why I'm interested in it. But
it has a demographic. I wouldn't have guessed you were in it, but
no, me either. I don't know. I saw it and was like, man, wow. But okay, sure, why not?
Why not?
Like, I'll trust you on this one, Nintendo.
Right. It looked cool and weird. Super Nintendo, not the console.
The way to live.
Oh yeah, there was that little note that BioWare is working on a Dragon Age game apparently.
Oh yeah.
They have another one in the works.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all anybody knows about it.
Right. I mean, it didn't come straight from BioWare either.
No, it came from the executive producer or something.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Which I don't think we've heard anything from BioWare since Mass Effect Andromeda came out.
No.
Do you blame them?
Is this going to affect Anthem?
Anthem's already been delayed.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
I forgot to put that in here. Yeah.
Anthem got pushed back.
What was it? 2019.
Yeah, it's next year.
Yeah. Which, I mean, come on.
Come on.
That nobody expected that not to happen.
Exactly.
even without the problems EA has been having with how people hate them. But whoa.
What was that?
You all right over there?
That would be clear. I'm sorry.
Some of us
that
have
was
more
what?
problems with EA.
Clear in throat. I'm sorry.
Oh, gotcha. That's all the news we got. There wasn't really too much. Not much has happened. We're kind of in a dry season probably till E3.
Yeah.
Or
when
at
is
least,
E3?
At least up until a month before E3, I should say. It should be in May, June, something like that. Into May, beginning of June, I think is when it always is. Let's see. 2 months ago, we actually gave our anticipated games, right?
I believe that is correct.
Mike, you said Sonic Forces.
That's right. I was very excited for Sonic Forces, and I feel like it delivered in all counts.
Yeah, it delivered in ways I never expected it to.
Mattel Fuckmaster here, baby.
Mattel Fuckmaster and Hasbro DP all day. Paul?
Yes, sir.
You said Xenoblade 2?
Yep.
Sounded like it delivered.
Yeah. You heard my opinion on that.
I said Xenoblade 2. I've played it for about 20 hours. Had fun. I will get back to it. Seth.
Yes, sir.
You cheated and said 2 games.
Classic Seth.
Actually, technically 3.
Classic Seth.
I mean,
because you said Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is 2 games,
mm-hmm.
and you said the Horizon expansion.
Yes.
So
Horizon expansion was awesome. Loved it.
Okay.
It was a neat add-on to the game. Added a little bit of difficulty that I felt the original game needed, because the new monsters will straight up devour you.
Like actually eat you or just kill you fast?
I mean, they're giant grizzly bears.
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
One of them's a giant grizzly bear that uses ice.
Godless killing machines.
And then the other one's a giant grizzly bear that's on fire. And
jeez,
it's pretty rough. They're something else. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. As for Ultra Sun and Moon, I still haven't picked it up, but I'm going to pretty soon. I finally got my shiny Rowlet, so time to get back in there.
At least you're not picking the Poplio piece of shit.
No, nobody would ever pick that absolute worthless piece of shit. That the only thing that was going good for him is he had a really, really good
nose.
No, his his typing was really good. Water Fairy would be great.
Well, I mean, how many words a minute are we talking here?
Shut up. His
Poplio's too stupid to type, you dumb idiot.
Water Fairy would be really strong, and something that we don't have, except Poplio and all his evolutions should die.
Oh,
okay.
Rip.
I mean, I can get behind that.
Okay.
Okay. I think it was everybody, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Unless you got
okay. Current most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Michaelis.
Oh, Michaelis. That's my name. Oh yeah. So I'm cheating.
Uh-oh.
Because if I were to name a video game here, it'd probably be Dragon Ball or Monster Hunter. They're so close to the end of January. I'm still looking forward to playing them. But if I were to just say my current most anticipated game, as you may know from the episode where we had with Dustin, and the episode right after I went to Gen Con, I play tabletop games, role playing games. Yeah, Next Gen Con, where all the Paul's future brides live, his forever brides.
It's forever.
And the one of the games that I ran probably for about a year with a little bit of a break in between was this tabletop game called Eclipse Phase, which is the sci-fi in the future transhumanist sort of horror game about the it's that classic, if we build a transporter and it copies you exactly and puts you and rebuilds you somewhere else and then destroys the original version of you, is that you in that new location? Like, if you can back up your memories and then be revived after death, are you? Are you a clone? Are you somebody else? How does that affect your psyche, knowing that you've just backed yourself up and know that you might die but would come back as a weird altered version or whatever? And it kind of touches on those kinds of topics, and it ended up being one of my favorite RPGs I think that I've ever run. I haven't played it yet, sadly. I've only been able to run the game. But it had a lot of issues. It was a very math heavy, definitely written by people who were way into in low gravity your guns would send you back this far, and in no gravity your guns would send you back this far, and in high gravity your guns would... And it was like, none of that shit was worthwhile or interesting. Get rid of all of it. And hey, they did. Eclipse Phase 2nd edition is coming out sometime this year. It was a Kickstarter project supposed to be delivered last year. Whoops. But is on path to make it this year. It turns out you really shouldn't independently contract all your art if you want it to be good. You have to do oversight and approve things. They had to completely redo, I guess, their art pass because all the art they got in was bad and completely different styles. But it's supposed to be releasing sometime early 2018. I'm looking forward to it so I can introduce Dustin and the rest of our role-playing friends to the world of Eclipse Phase.
All right.
And that's what I would say is probably my most anticipated game so far this year.
All right, it's cop out, but I'll take it.
But hey, like I said, if you want video games, it's the two that I already talked about playing: Monster Hunter and Dragon Ball.
Okay, I mean that came out yesterday. That's fair enough. Paul.
Hello, I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul.
You are Paul.
Hi.
Some would say you're a PMC bride, but
Hi, PMC Bride.
DM PMC bride. Thank you.
you're a beautiful bride.
Or MD.
Nope. I'm looking forward to. Well, I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter because like Mike said, but in terms of a game that hasn't actually come out as of this recording that I'm looking forward to, I would say the Civ 6 expansion, which is coming later.
Okay.
Rise and Fall.
When does that due?
What's what?
When does it due?
It's coming out in February, I think.
Oh, that's soon. Okay.
Yeah, around the middle of February.
What are they even adding?
They're adding, I think, 6 new civilizations.
Sick.
6 or 8.
Civilization.
Shut up.
Like you said, sick.
Sick new civilizations.
This one's poisonous. You introduce them slowly into other people's civs, and they get real ill.
This civilization all has AIDS.
Ooh.
Exactly.
It's right up your. I mean, is this a pharmacy simulator? Is that what you're doing here?
Yep.
Is this your dream?
Yep. Finally time to live my dream. No, it's not. I don't have dreams.
So more civilizations.
More civilization. More everything. They're adding some new systems into the game that weren't there before.
Like Chosen Assassins?
No. So yeah, so like Mike just made a joke there. Because Civ 6 is a Firaxis joint, which is also who makes who they're
XCOM.
Yeah, XCOM. And they're kind of renowned for making their games into what they should be with expansions. Like I feel like Civ 5.
I mean, they did that with 5, right?
Yeah, everyone, like a lot of people, it's a very common feeling out there right now that Civ 5 with Brave New World and Gods and Kings is one of the best like strategy games of all time, and probably probably the best Civ game. That versus that and 4 with all the expansions. And a lot of people with 6 when it came out, it's like the normal cadence. It comes out, you're like, oh, I'm excited. You play, and you're like, oh, this doesn't have this, or this from the last game. And then you remember that didn't come out until like 4 years after that game came out because they launched it with expansions. So this is kind of following that, and they're adding stuff in with the expansion. And some of the stuff they're adding in an age mechanic, which is pretty cool. And then they're also adding in, so like Dark Age, Golden Age, thing like that.
Okay.
They don't have Golden Ages in this, which they had in Civ 5, so you're going to notice a trend there. And then they're also adding the ability to flip civilizations through loyalty. Like you flip cities. They have a governor mechanic.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it could be really fucked, but it would be a fun way to play with with you guys, because you could literally, because like you would like this, Jimmy.
I mean, can I still spread Conan's love?
Yeah, you could spread Conan's love, and you could also, you could literally flip one of my cities with the power of Conan's love, and then rename it to like Conan. Like all the cities could be called Conan. And you would
go on.
You would take them, even though you're on my team. You'd be able to take them because you're not doing it through conquest. You're doing it through loyalty.
Through Conan's love.
Yeah, I think first you have to the city has to become. First, it has to rebel, and then it can flip. I don't know. I don't know the mechanic because it's not out yet, but it looks pretty cool, and I'm excited about it. And I really like Civ 6, and it's an excuse to go back and play it.
Okay.
Podcasts are also good excuses to go back and play it.
Yeah. I got Civ 6. You got to play with me. Teach me how to be good at it.
Well, Sparta's getting ready to kick my ass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Seth.
Yes, sir.
What is your most anticipated game?
Now until April, my most anticipated game is going to be God of War.
Oh, right.
I
forgot about that game.
Really looking forward to it. It looks good. Okay. I mean, I'm ready to see if it's going to live up to what we all hope it will be.
I own the God of War games, but I've never played them.
None of them?
Yeah.
They're good games.
For Christmas one year I got the collection. But I haven't touched it. I think part of it it came at the time when is the collection on PS3?
Yes. I want
That's
to say.
why.
Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe it is on PS4.
I'll have to look at my cases. I want to say it's PS3.
They might have done both.
It's 1 through
been a
5.
common
I don't know. I'll have to look. I've been interested in going back and playing those games because they look just like fun action games, but I just never really got around to it. This one looks interesting.
Yeah.
The more I see about it, the more I'm kind of interested in it.
We'll see. 3 months?
It's March or April.
April.
It's one of those two, I think.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that game. For me.
Yeah, what's yours?
I couldn't really think of anything. The only thing I could think of was just the Destiny updates and the next expansion, really.
Yeah, the Destiny updates. I would really like to see everybody get back into Destiny. I've played a lot of Destiny over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, you've passed my hour count.
Way too much. And it's been lonely.
Oh, so lonely.
But no, we didn't really touch about it earlier, but there's a lot of changes coming to Destiny. The live team got a hold of it, as we all expected it to. Kind of the same thing that happened with the original Destiny.
Right.
And they're kind of going through and fixing, or attempting to fix some of the problems the game has. And I won't dive. There's a lot of changes they've listed, so I'm not going to get into it. If you want, go read the blog post or do a Reddit search for it. There's a big list.
Yep.
That they have planned for spring updates. Some updates are coming really soon, as in
end of the
weeks.
Weeks, if not haven't already happened by the time you hear this.
If not, I think there's some coming with this week's patch. With the what's the PvP event?
The Iron Banner.
Iron Banner. And then some are coming with the expansion / spring. And I guess a whole bunch more are coming with the big expansion, supposedly, if they follow the same pattern, in the fall. So, yeah, if you're interested in Destiny, go look those up. Maybe if they're good stuff, we'll talk about them next month after we see some of the changes. But
yeah.
No, that's about it. I had a really hard time thinking of something I was looking forward to game-wise. I don't know what's coming out this year.
See, that's why I cheated.
But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions for the podcast, email us.
No one ever has,
mmmHmmm.
so you can be the first.
That's not true.
I know Thor emailed us, but he doesn't count.
Thor emailed us. We got to play our song one time.
We got to play it once. I want to play it so bad.
Us.
That didn't count because that wasn't a real.
Didn't make it in. Sorry. Only good emails, please.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if we want to go that route, Mike has emailed the podcast.
Hey, just because I signed us up for like magazine subscriptions with the podcast email doesn't mean
that makes it no less valid, right?
Right.
That's right. No, but email us at mmmPodcast@gmail.com. mmmPodcast@gmail.com. mmmPodcast@gmail.com.
mmmPodcast@gmail.com. It's my emails and I need them now. Email mmmPodcast@gmail.com.
Do it. Email us anything.
Anything.
Well,
picture of Paul's butt.
You know what? Fuck it. Email me anything. I'll click on it.
You will. It's true.
Fuck
I've
it.
seen him do it.
I got ad blocker.
Ooh.
Well, it was nice knowing Jimmy.
Anyway, I may do a preview before I click on it, but sure. You can follow us on Twitter at mmmHmmm Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Kanaku_Highwind. You can follow Mike on Twitter at Link43130.
Well, find me on Mixer.
Seth
Mixer's good. I stream.
We're not
Fuck that.
there yet.
You talk about my Mixer now.
Fine. Follow Mike's Mixer.
Yeah.
Link 43130.
Beam.pro/LINK43130.
Oh, I wish.
I think that still redirects.
Does it really?
hope.
Okay. That'd be cool. We'll have to check that out. Maybe I'll put that as an actual URL in the link section if it works.
Oh, it does.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Changing the link. Follow Seth on Twitter at is it 1198 or 1108? What is
1188. Colbert 1188.
At Colbert1188. Follow Paul on Twitter.
Follow Paul around
At PMC Bride.
Around his work.
all around. Don't do it.
Is Paul's dog dead? You can follow that one too. That's an old Twitter account that I made as a joke and used to update. We'll be back next month.
And hey, if you're listening now, stick around after the outro song, Goncho. We got a little surprise for you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Goncho. You're gonna love it.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Hey,
you want to sing us out, Mike?
Sorry, what now?
You want to sing us out?
I don't need to. Seth already did multiple times.
All
You stole
right.
my bit,
Well, we'll see
that
you.
rude
We'll
boy.
see you next month.
Bye.
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 Bye.